What is going on, Misfit Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Matt the Misfit. Today, I got a very special guest with me to do some Stardom. It's Blitzball Gaming. We're going to be doing the Cinderella Finals, which took place this morning, it's very weird to see them do a pay-per-view on a Wednesday, but, you know, wrestling during the week, why not? Before I do all of that, I'm going to do all the plugs first, so you can follow me at Pile Driver Pulse on Twitter, Mr. Wrestling Pod on Instagram, the audio outlets, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and on youtube.com/@Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Say hello, Mr. Blissfit. Mr. Blitzball.
Hey, how's it going? No, that's all good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so first of all, I would like to know, since the people probably don't know much about you, how did you get involved with Stardom? What was your first introduction to Stardom?
So for me, I had heard of Stardom kind of like throughout YouTube and through pro wrestling FAQ message boards, but my real first taste of Stardom actually came through their past relationship with ROH when Mayu Iwatani and Chris Wolf kind of had some matches on ROH, and after all, Mayu Iwatani was a former Women of Honor champion, so it was really through that I got to learn about her and Kagetsu and Hana Kimura and Chris Wolf. So through their relationship with ROH.
Yeah, Mayu, one of the very few people that got to work MSG from Stardom.
Yes,
alongside Kagetsu. I think Kagetsu was on that show. Late Hana Kimura, rest in peace, Hana Kimura.
Rest in peace.
I forgot who else was on. I think Hazuki wrestled that show too.
Yes, she did. When because she was still part of Oedo Tai.
Which, let me look. Now I'm curious because I think it's New Japan ROH Supercard Honor. You can find the Year One Supercard. That's why I don't know why I said Supercard of Honor. Okay, so all right, so it's Kagetsu and Hazuki they defeated. Oh, and Ginny Rose they defeated Hana Kimura, Stella Gray, and Sumi Sakai.
Yep.
So it was only 3 Stardom representatives on that show. Okay, that makes sense. Because I believe the other 3 were Ring of Honor based. Well, Sumi Sakai does everything. So.
Oh yeah, she's all over the place.
Yeah. So yeah, so I saw the show earlier. I watched that this morning because I was in the chat telling you about it. Some of it, not all of it. But from what I saw, because I had to go back because I did end up falling asleep after the 10 woman tag because it was damn near like 4 o'clock in the morning. You tried to power it out. I see. Yeah, so I missed Hanan and Sourei, so I went back and watched that, and then I watched that incredible main event between Mayu, not Mayu. Mayu's great too. She had a great match too, but Maika and Utami Hayashishita, who I think, by the way, Maika I think is killing it as World of Stardom Champion right now.
Agreed.
I mean, this woman worked her butt off to get to this point. I'm so happy that she's getting the shine now. So.
Yeah, most definitely. I felt like it was a big deal for her to win this title because, I mean, if I remember correctly, the last singles title she held was the future of Stardom Championship because, she had that rivalry with Utami Hayashishita and
she battled for her against for that title as well.
Yep, sure did.
Funny enough, their first match, when we get into that, their first ever match against each other was for that title, and it wasn't even on Stardom.
If I remember correctly, it was via Just Tap Out?
Yeah, it's right here. Yeah, right here. January 14th, 2020, Just Tap Out. I believe it was Utami who beat Maika in that match.
Yes, sure was.
Which is funny because now she's able to finally say she beat Utami in a big-time title match.
It was an incredible match. It felt like red versus red with their matching gear.
And the Momo coming in. We'll get into that, of course. My first exposure to Stardom, I think I've told you this before, but kind of like you, but also I go a little bit further back because when Kyrie was coming into WWE, hold on a second. All right. So like I said, my first exposure to the Stardom was somewhere around 2017-ish when Kairi was coming in. I was told to go watch her match with Io Shirai, now known as Io Sky, of course, to WWE fans. And right then and there, I'm like, these two are my two favorite wrestlers on the planet.
Very nice, very nice.
I know a lot of people love Sasha versus Bayley. That, don't get me wrong, that's a great match from Brooklyn a few years ago. But to me, the greatest female match of all time is Io and Kairi from the I think it's a 5-star Grand Prix match for the title.
Okay.
I think it's for the world title they had. When I think
the World of Stardom Championship.
I think it was either. I could be wrong, but I think Io had the championship, but I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
But
gotcha.
But then I've since back. But then around 2019, I would go in and out watching some Stardom, and then, which is a weird thing to say now, but in 2020 when when the world shut down, I had to find something else to watch, so I started watching more of Stardom. Unfortunately, that whole incident happened with Hanan, but then I started watching some more stuff. So now I'm hooked on Stardom. So, but when I can, I don't get to do the reviews all the time. But when it's like a big shows, like the Grand Prix or the finals or the first day or anything like that, I'll do separate reviews. But if it's like their house shows that people call them, I just go over their results on the Sunday show that I do. So.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, yeah, that was my basically my exposure to Stardom at first. But I keep telling people, if you want the best women's wrestling on the planet, this is where you go.
Oh, absolutely.
That or Tokyo Joshi Pro. There's that one.
Yeah, Stardom was really what got me immersed into the whole Joshi picture. Because I had dabbled in it a long time ago, of course, through Akira Hokuto, Manami Toyota, just for being able to pull up archives of matches on YouTube, because I did have some close friends back in the day that had tapes of that. So that was the little bit of exposure. But then once, I got to learn about Stardom and TJPW, that's when I really got my fill in.
Yeah, when, because I grew up in the 90s, right? That was the early year I was born, in 1984. But I started still watching as a child, believe it or not. But I didn't know what Joshi meant. I just seen Bull Nakano and Akira Hokuto, and I'm like, these two are just phenomenal wrestlers. I didn't know what the heck Joshi meant. I didn't know they were Joshi wrestlers. I do now. They're two of the greatest Joshi wrestlers of all time, of course. But also Manami Toyota, as you mentioned as well, who still looks phenomenal at her age, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm just really thankful that she is still in good condition, because I like a lot of the high flying stuff. I was just like, whoa, she had some close calls, but hey, she did it well.
I know Bull Nakano slimmed down quite a bit since the last time, but she looks great. Congratulations to her for finally going to the Hall of Fame this year.
Yes, indeed.
Akira Hokuto looks great as well. I believe she is married to Jinsei Sasaki, I believe. I believe so, yes.
Yes, I believe so.
Which, funny enough, they both wrestled for WCW, which is even hilarious, which is even funnier.
Yes, this is true.
I don't know, this is funny to me. Anyways, we're getting off topic here. We're getting ready for Stardom here. And also on this show, we've seen, I don't know what we were going to think about it when it happened, which was Giulia versus Tam Nakano, obviously. We might be Giulia's last match, but I guess not, because there's, 4 more dates in the month of June, of this month here.
Mm-hmm.
I believe so. Is there a few more house shows before Philly?
I want to say there's at least 4 more.
Okay, so that's probably what somebody was talking about then, because somebody mentioned that she has 4 more dates, and I'm assuming that's airing in the month of March. So, because when the clock strikes midnight on March 29th, she's gone. April 1st, excuse me. When that strikes midnight, she's gone. So.
Yeah, so 4 events and 1, or actually 2 like special meet and greet sessions,
Right.
like autograph sessions.
Right.
So
I seen that. I believe. Yeah, I saw. I had to go through to one of my other Twitter accounts just to see that they did post that not even 3 hours ago, something like that, about the meet and greets. But yeah. But yeah, let's get into this show here. This first of all, I thought this show was really good. Stardom always seems to, outside of that one, that Halloween show, I didn't care for, but mostly I enjoy Stardom shows. I thought this was a really good show. What did you think about this show?
Overall, I definitely enjoyed the show myself.
Right.
There were matches that I really felt that stood out to me, like in a big way. And I know you had mentioned Mayu Iwatani Yuzuki. Yuzuki has been one that I've really been keeping a close eye on ever since.
She's slowly becoming one of my favorites of this new generation that's coming into Stardom.
Absolutely. I didn't originally think she would join Stars, but
and everyone was like, no, she's going to join Queen's Quest. Everyone, that's right. What everyone says. I'm like, Kevin, you are bad at this whole recruiting thing. I joke all the time when I say that, but
yeah, but I mean, I definitely get where you're coming from. Yeah. But that's what I was originally thinking, that she was going to go Queen's Quest.
But yeah, she's doing for good, and you know, kudos for her. She's getting some big matches in, dude. Her first match with Momo Watanabe before they fired Rossi. Rossi trusted Momo to bring with Yuzuki, and it paid off very, very well.
Absolutely, and I really like her repertoire of moves as well, and I even enjoyed her in the Rookie of Stardom tournament, which she won, which I know typically in the past had many more competitors, like dating back to when Saya Kamatani last won it in 2019.
Yeah, I believe it was like a 4-person tournament this year, or not? Yeah, this year, right?
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. That's what I thought it was.
So I really liked what she brings ever since her debut, and matches like her and Mayu Iwatani, her and Momo Watanabe, and of course recently that first round matchup against Starlight Kid.
That was so good.
That was phenomenal.
And somebody pointed this out, and I didn't think about it until then, but she does remind me of a little bit of a young Io Shirai.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that.
I'm like, yeah. I mean, if Io was still there, she would absolutely try to not what's the word I'm looking for? Petition to get her into Queen's Quest if she was still there, because I can tell you that she would have totally took her up under her wing.
Yeah, it makes sense. Most definitely.
But do you have a favorite match on the show so far? Or has it changed?
To be honest with you, I really enjoyed the Cinderella Tournament finals between Hanan and Ami Sourei, because I really think they did a good job of continuing to carry that rivalry between the two, because I really liked the fact that, because in the past I was pretty high on Hanan's Future Stardom Championship run, although it did seem like in non-title matches she was getting pinned, but I really liked the feud that she had with Ami Sourei dating back to when Ami dethroned her for the Future Stardom Championship. And I must say for myself, I really feel like Ami Sourei is one of the real underrated wrestlers in Stardom. I feel like she doesn't get enough love, because I mean, we got to remember somebody that has held a couple of titles by now: Future Stardom title, Goddesses of Stardom tag titles, Artists of Stardom tag title, won the second ever Triangle Derby. I mean, she's been adding on to her resume of gold in Stardom, and I truly believe in due time she's going to be Wonder or World of Stardom champion.
I know the last time she challenged, at one point she did challenge for the white belt. That was when Mirai had it.
That was Saya Kamatani.
No, you're right. That was Saya. I knew it was one of the two, but it seems it feels like it was more recent, but it's not. I almost said Saya Kamatani. I meant Ami Sourei. I like Ami Sourei. She's very powerful. Like, her strength is very, very, like, you know, And then like she has a great look. She's gorgeous. She's incredible in the ring. I don't know why I prefer her with the long hair. Never get rid of it. But yeah, I just like her presentation overall, and I think she fits in God's eye. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. And as I got to look up more of her past matches, like I was kind of surprised. I did not know that she had wrestled before in Actress Girls.
Oh
I
yeah.
had to do a little bit of digging, and then just how she's going through different ring attire, and I like her overall look, and I even liked the backstage promo where she stepped up to Utami as who's the number one power fighter in Stardom, and I was just like, okay, I see you, Ami. And then ever since then, I've just been very high on her. Even I remember when she
Right.
qualified for the 5-star Grand Prix. I believe it was 2 years ago. She went through the qualifier undefeated to qualify to participate in the 5-star Grand Prix, and I was just like, okay, she looks pretty legit, in the realm of power fighters. Because I mean, at the time, you still had your Maikas, you still had your Himekas,
Your
so
Sherry's.
yeah, your Shuris. So I felt like she really blended in nicely,
Right.
especially joining God's Eye.
Right. So let's get into this technically a 10-match card, even though it's 9 if you really count it. I was very surprised when I found out they were putting Mayu Iwatani on the pre-show. That did surprise me. You don't normally see Mayu, like the ace of Stardom, on the pre-show, but she was on there and she had defeated Hazuki. Not Hazuki. There's two wrestlers with the same name spelling. I've done it like
That is true.
Like 4 different times in my past reviews. Yuzuki, of course. Yeah, that drop kick during that match was like a drop kick from hell.
God. Dude,
That was
she took that drop kick like a champ. Like, kudos to Yuzuki. Like, the way her head kind of snapped, I was just like, goodness gracious, Mayu. But, hey, leader versus rookie. I dig it.
I was like, is she trying to channel her inner like Okada or something? But
must be.
But yeah, and you just mentioned that they're faction members. I completely, until when this match was happening, I actually have forgotten she was in Stars. until you just mentioned it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. They're faction mates. Yeah, I thought it was great. Yuzuki looks great in defeat. Hopefully she gets some more rubs from other. I wouldn't say I guess full time, but more like Stardom veterans, like depending on whether or not she's sticking around, because we still don't know that. We're gonna find out.
Right.
That being Utami Hayashishita. I'd love to see her against Hazuki at one point. Her versus Azumi, I would love to see. Matches like that. Her versus Tam Nakano. Maybe, she probably might not get one in with Giulia. That's probably not going to happen. But you get my point.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. 7 minutes and 46 seconds. Anything else from this match that you liked about the pacing or anything like that?
The really, really close rolling arrow pinfall. Like, it reminded me of, even with the match with Starlight Kid, just so close. And I really feel like I would like to see more of Yuzuki and how she continues to evolve, because honestly, she is actually my pick to maybe sooner or later be the next future Stardom champion.
I mean, I know she got that shot with Rina a while back and did come up short, but
yeah,
I can see a rematch going down the line sometime. I don't know when, maybe depending on what they have planned, because I don't know what they have planned for Rina at All Star, or maybe even at Philly. We don't know, but I can see like a big upset win from Yuzuki coming in the form of maybe like an Utami or something. You never know.
Yeah, I think it would be really cool, like if they do it like on a big stage, or maybe like on a big New Blood stage. Because I remember they did have a big New Blood stage that ended up being a pay-per-view, as opposed to typical New Blood shows that are usually free on YouTube.
I don't remember which one that was a pay-per-view, but I don't think I actually ordered that one because I didn't even know they were doing those on pay-per-view because at one point they stopped doing those on like broadcasting them period, and then they started putting them back on YouTube, which thank God they did that because and on those I know there's no commentary on those shows, so I was just like, oh, screw it, I'll just do my own commentary.
Yeah, understandable. And I really enjoy the New Blood shows. I mean, that's what really helped introduce me to, folks like Tomoka Inaba, Aoi. Aoi's one of my favorites out of Just Tap Out, and
I
just
love
many
Tomoka, by the way. She's
others.
great.
And many others as well. I mean, that's how I got to discover Momoko Hanazono.
Mhm.
Let's see, Haruka Umesaki from Diana. Just so like a variety. I really appreciate the variety of talent that you see on the New Blood shows.
Yeah, yeah. So I call Tamako I think it's Tamako Mini Maika.
I see what you did there.
Because like she looks like Maika when you really think about it. She looks like a young Maika, but she would kick your ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
She also portrays Stray Cat for Sukeban, so
sure does.
She's mega over there right now. So,
yeah, and her photo shoots are really interesting.
She's great. That's one thing Joshi wrestlers know how to do. They know how to do a photo shoot.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it, but they do it. They're very good at it. Even ones that don't look like they should be doing them, they still pull it off somehow.
Absolutely.
But then we got the main card here, which when I thought I thought we were still doing the pre-show, and then they went straight, because usually when they do a pre-show and then they do a pay-per-view, they have like this, I think this 3-minute break, and they went straight into the next match into the pay-per-view, which didn't see that coming. But it was the 8-woman tag match. It was Empress Nexus Phoenix, Mina Shirakawa, Waka Tsukiyama, Hanako, and Xena. They defeated the team of God's Eyes, Shuri, Sakikasha Mirai, and Rina Yamagami. This was a surprising victory out of this one with who was the guy that got pinned here? I can't. It was
Rina Yagami got pinned by Mina after hitting that really, really cool assisted diving double knee drop from her teammates.
It was, I believe it was Hanako and Xena that did the assist, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's right. When I saw this match graphic, I was like, well, I feel like Waka's going to take the pin. Nope, that's not what happened at all.
Yeah, and I have to say it was hilarious seeing Saki Kashima and Waka Tsukiyama in this match. Of course, Waka with her hip attacks, and Saki Kashima knows when to take advantage and knows portray the coward.
Okay, so I laughed out loud when I seen this. So I believe it was, I think Shuri was a legal competitor in the match, and I believe it was Waka against the ropes, and Shuri's like doing her kicks to the face against the ropes. I've seen Saki come out from the other corner and just pinch her. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, Saki, evil person sometimes. You little evil devil cuteness. Stop it.
Yeah, she'll sneak in and get her pokes, her jabs.
It was funny. She is the most unserious wrestler, and I love her for it. Yeah, I wonder how she is feeling right now without Rossi down there, because she can't do her stick with him anymore. So
that is true.
But this is a fun match, fun 8-woman tag match. You'll see tag matches. You'll see tag matches on these shows for people who are new to Stardom. You'll see tag matches on shows featuring people who are not featured, like other people doing other things. Like, for example, if Utami is wrestling Maika for the title, you'll see the other members of Queen's Quest doing some other things, like a tag match, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. I give it a solid 7, I guess, for a match.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair.
And what I did like was them teasing. It seemed like they're teasing maybe an Artist of Stardom tag match in the future.
I did notice that. I did notice that at the end.
with I believe it was Sherry and Mina going nose to nose.
Yeah, and of course, the current Artists of Stardom trios champions are Shuri, Mirai, and Ami Sourei. So yeah, I could totally see it happening.
I believe isn't Sherry on the? I think isn't most of these people that are in this match on the Philly show?
Mina, Shuri, and Saki Kashima from that match.
That's right. Okay. I could have sworn they announced Hanako for that show, but I guess not. But yeah, I'm still not big on the name Empress of Nexus Venus.
Oh, I can't stand it personally.
I was all for the idea of oh my god, what did I say? Divine Venus as a name.
That would have made more sense.
But you know, they had to squeeze. They did the whole WWE thing, just mix it, match the name together.
Yeah, I just think it was kind of a weak effort, but I mean, yeah, EXV, not a big fan of it, but it is what it is.
During this show, we did find out the dates for the 5-Star Grand Prix. 12 shows.
Yeah. Do you feel like it'll be managed a lot better with the shorter schedule?
I believe so. I think this is better for the talent and the people watching the shows.
Yeah,
because it was just kind of sad when you really think about it. When last year, when I think it was end of last year, that when they did that whole what was it that oh my god, that press conference thing where they were doing the New Japan Stardom thing when they were the announced historic crossover 2 and all that stuff. Giulia was on that panel saying, you know, shorten the length of the 5-star. It'll be better on everybody. And now they wait until she's leaving to do that.
Yeah.
That's
timing.
I'm like, you should have done that while she was there.
Yeah, exactly.
But speaking of, well, I guess we'll talk about it now. Do you have an early prediction for the 5-star winner this year?
Oh, that is tough. I mean,
that is tough because again, we don't know how many people are going to still be here when the 5-star comes around.
Right. And of course, it'll be an interesting year to follow up.
Of course, we're going to know. Of course, Giulia, we know, will not be a part of the 5-star this year. She will be maybe still with Rossi or already at WWE by that point.
Right. And it'll be interesting to follow up a year that Suzuki won. Right. So, honestly, if I had to pick between 3, I would love it to be Hazuki, Mina Shirakawa, or Starlight Kid.
You know what? I agree with you. Last year, I wasn't that too enthralled of Mina winning last year because I think it was last year was the right decision to have the finals be Maika versus Suzuki. I know a lot of people like to think the plan was Utami versus Saya Kamitani, but I'm not entirely sure that was that was actually going to be taking place.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because to me, the story made more sense for it to being Suzu and Mike, and I'm so happy they went through that plan.
And I'm gonna go ahead and make a bold prediction.
Oh no, bold prediction! I wish I had a sound bite for that.
Give it at least 3 years. Ami Sourei will win a 5-star Grand Prix.
3 years, you say?
In 3 years.
I can see that. But I can see it, but I'll even do you one better. I think she wins the Cinderella before that.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, going from the semis last year to the
finals. I'm going to make a prediction right now. I predict that Ami Sourei is going to win it next year.
Hey, I'd be down. I'd be totally down.
Though I was still all for doing Azumi versus Starlight Kid because as disappointed as I am, we aren't getting that match for the finals. We might get it for the 5-star finals. Imagine that as a 5-star finals. Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I find it really interesting seeing Ami Sourei beat 2 back-to-back high-speed wrestlers, whereas you think back to Himeka, high-speed wrestlers was what she had the most trouble with.
Right. I mean, Ami Sourei, I believe, beat May Sourei in the second round, I believe, or was it the first round?
Yes, it was actually the next.
I think.
Yeah,
I think it was the second round. I could be wrong, but actually, you know what? I got it up here. Give me a second. Let me look here. Where's it at? I know it's in here. Oh, it was in the third round.
Third round. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, she pinned her. No, it was elimination, so she technically didn't beat her, if you really think about it. She didn't pin her or made her submit. So there is some story that you can pull out of that. But then she goes on to beat probably the greatest high-speed champion in that belt's history with Azumi. Because, I mean, it doesn't matter what anybody says. I think Azumi had the greatest run of that title. So.
Oh, yeah, she had an excellent run. Like, one of my favorites.
Why I always point out when I know a lot of people say Hoshiki with the Wonder title, they claim that she has the greatest run. To me, that's still Momo Watanabe's throne right there. But I feel like she does want something like that back. But we'll talk about Momo when we get there because what happened at the end of the show is very interesting. But speaking of the Cinderella, because we brought up Azumi. The next match was not an Azumi match. It was Hanan versus Raka with Oedo Tai. And believe it or not, Stars was actually out there to help this time. Oh my God.
Like, that was one of the first things that I noticed and complained about. I was literally like, really? Y'all couldn't be out there for when Fukuoka Double Crazy lost in their separate...
I tweeted up, I'm like, okay, now where were y'all guys during when Hatsuki lost? She could have used y'all guys.
Yeah. Like, what the heck? So that was like immediately the first thing I noticed. I'm like, oh, now y'all want to come out and even the odds. Because it's just so weird because typically Stardom matches, the stablemates are ringside consistently.
Yeah.
So
unless they had a match like 20 minutes before that, I don't know. But it doesn't really matter because, I believe, who was it? Actually, it does matter because never mind. I don't know what I was trying to say there. I don't know where my mind was going there. But this was basically your typical, Oedo Tai trying to get involved situation here. And it backfired for once. Kind of. Though I'm going to nitpick here with Raka here. She puts this woman on the top turnbuckle. Instead of just pushing her off to get her eliminated, I'm going to go with a powerbomb. That's what I'm going to do. I'm like, you could have just pushed her off and you could have won the match.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, that was stupid. But I thought the match was decent. I like Raka, but she used it like, Azumi. You're not expecting like an Azumi or Utami type level match with Raka, but it was fine.
Yeah, and I mean,
by the way, Hanan got the win. By the way, I just want to play that before I say anything.
Right. I mean, I know she is a former future Stardom champion and all that, but just like, I don't know, I could never really get behind Ruka. I mean,
I don't hate her, by the way. I think she's fine.
Same.
But I'm still trying to figure out what, like, I don't know the actual like history behind this thing, but what the heck is the point of that briefcase that she's holding around? Is there anything in it? Is it important?
I don't think so. I don't think there ever was anything in it.
She just brought it. Did she just one day bring it to the ring and start using it?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's why I need. That's why I need like who. I feel like Azumi is like one of those. No, not Azumi. Who was the one that? Oh my God, who was it that kind of spoiled the whole Kyrie coming back to Stardom thing. I can't remember who it was, but it was one of the what's it?
Oh,
It was Hanan. It was Hanan. That's right.
oh, okay.
I'm like, Hanan should do some investigating to find out what that is.
Yeah, because I mean that wasn't even a thing back in the older version of Oedo Tai, because they would have that little sign that they would bring out. But
if Raka's there at Philly, ask her what it means.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so Hanan gets to this. This is a semifinal match. She goes to the finals to face the winner of the next match, which is Ami Sourei versus Azumi, which actually was a really good match. I was very pleasantly surprised by this match, because I didn't know she was going to be able to keep up with Azumi, because Azumi is fast, like super fast.
Indeed.
By the way, so Azumi gets in the ring, then Ami comes out here, and out of nowhere she went all like, oh. Before I go into that, before I go into that next match, I do want to point out there was a funny spot in the match with Raka that I actually did laugh about. And she pulled a Samoa Joe on Hanan. It was actually hilarious.
Yes, she sure did.
That was great.
Sure did.
That popped me. I will not lie. But what else popped me on the Azumi match was she pulled a Randy Orton at the beginning of the match.
Sure did.
Ami gets into the ring, and I don't know where she came from, but out of nowhere, drop kicks her from the top of the rope. I'm like, Azumi, where the hell did you come from? She's wasting no time here.
Is it me, or does it seem like Ami Sourei always loses an arm sleeve when she wrestles?
I probably. She might.
Like, I see it like I think I've seen that for like her last like 7 or 8 matches that she's had.
I never noticed, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, because I mean, she's, since I first saw her, she's had a number of different ring gear changes.
Now with this match here, I didn't want the over the top rope. I was kind of hoping for the over the top rope in that other spot in the other match, but this was actually like back and forth. There was a spot that almost scared me a little bit, because it could have went wrong for either one of them. That was when they were both hanging on the top rope.
Yeah,
and I'm like, you girls better not both fall out there, because I thought about it, I'm like, if they both fall, what happens then?
Typically, if I remember correctly, in past experience, both are eliminated from the tournament.
And then and then Hanan automatically wins. Would have won
pretty much.
Which to me feels like a cop out. So I'm so glad they don't do that as often as people would like to think. But personally, I still don't. I don't really. Go ahead.
Picky. I think they're very picky, choosy when they decide to book something like that.
Yeah, like I'm not really in. Like I wish they would have gotten rid of the over the top rope stipulation, because that kind of is like doesn't, because they don't do it. They really don't do that for the 5-star. It's just a pinfall or submission or count out or disqualification. Right. Basic wrestling rules.
Yeah.
But they don't. But for some reason, I don't know why over the top rope, because that was the thing that made me not like last year's tournament, was the constant over the top rope victories that were going on in the tournament, which ended up being part of the worst booked matches of 2023 for me.
Do you feel like it kind of cheapens it?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Like last year, for example. We were having a really good match with Hazuki and Azumi, right? And then they did the spot, which was a cool spot, but it was dampened a little bit by the elimination spot.
Right.
Which was the oh my god, the tilt-a-war or arm bar breaker thing that Azumi does.
Oh yeah, the Torbellino, yeah.
Yeah, it was a cool spot, but it didn't matter because they were both eliminated.
Right.
And I hated that. But we didn't. Thankfully, we didn't see a lot of that this year. It was like what, maybe 2 eliminations.
Yeah, year? It was very few.
No, actually 3.
Over the top rope eliminations.
So Koguma got eliminated from Raka,
And Suzu.
Starlight Kid eliminated Suzu, which still was one of my favorite finishes of that tournament. That was great.
Yeah.
Because she outsmarted Suzu, which is great. And then
quick thinking.
And then and then May was eliminated by Ami. So with that, but everything else was a pinfall. Nobody actually won by submission either, which is very interesting to me. Oh no, actually no one did. Oh, Hanan beat Hanako in the submission. That's correct.
That's true.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, because she debuted her new submission. I believe it was called the Dandelion.
Great submission move, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I like when I like submission moves like that. There was that one, and then there was another one that Asuka introduced one last year, which is kind of like was her like updated Asuka lock, and she debuted, which was, oh my god, I saw that when she put who was that? Who was Chelsea Green in that? And I'm like, that hurts like a mother effer.
But you know what's the big shocker?
What?
Shuri still has yet to be submitted.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So this entire time at Stardom, she's never been submitted.
She's never been submitted.
Wow. Do you think they're building that up? Do you think they might get that to Mina?
To be honest, I have had my mind swirling about potential candidates who could pull it off. And to be honest, because she's had a history of having her number in the past, it would not surprise me if Azumi pulled it off.
Oh, that's a good point. I forgot she's also a submission master too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Ooh, that's good. That's interesting. Who could be the first to submit? Shuri will be a big upset there. You know, if I was booking it, I give it to Yuzuki.
Interesting choice.
Think about it. If you build up Yuzuki, not now, but maybe like a year or so from now, if she still has never been submitted, if you've built Yuzuki up enough, have one of the young lions or lionesses, or whatever you want to call them, be the one to submit Shuri. And submits them.
That would really go on record as quite one of the most memorable moments in Stardom, the day that happens. Because, I mean, we're talking about somebody that has an incredible, first off, an incredible win-loss record in Stardom. And secondly, somebody that has yet to submit.
Right.
So, hey, seed, plant that seed, Stardom. Right. Plant that seed.
Let's do that. But yeah, Azumi did not win, unfortunately. She was my pick once Starlight Kid got eliminated, I was like, I was convinced, and I said it in your chat like a few days ago. Like I was convinced that Azumi was going to go all the way to the finals and win the whole thing. That didn't end up happening. But I just want them to do something major with Azumi, because she deserves a singles title that isn't the high speed title at this point.
Right.
She is one of the best wrestlers in the entire world. She is my favorite wrestler on the planet right now, and somebody keeps asking me. At first, originally it was Io Shirai, and then when I seen Azumi wrestle for the first time, I was instantly in love with this woman, and she is now my favorite wrestler on the planet. Yep, that match with her and Starlight Kid, the match that got so much rave, got me hooked on both of them. By the way, I already knew of Starlight Kid. And I already knew she was great. I knew of her prior to her joining Oedo Tai, but her match with Azumi I think it was at the Cinderella 2 years ago.
Okay,
I believe it was for the high speed title. It was the match that was getting a lot of praise. I watched it. I'm like, oh my god, Azumi is phenomenal, and I was hooked on her.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, I got my first taste of Azumi through the very first Cinderella tournament that I saw in full. It was the year that Arisa Hoshiki won the Cinderella
And by the
tournament.
way, I was surprised when I found out how old this woman was. I'm like, you're kidding me.
Yeah.
I already knew how old Starlight Kid was, but when I found out how old Azumi was, I'm like, she's this old and she's this good? What is happening?
Yeah, and I feel like that's why she has such a high ceiling. Like there's like no telling all of what she's gonna end up accomplishing. It's insane.
And believe it or not, I believe she is the oldest 10-year member of Queen's Quest as well.
I believe that's correct. Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I believe she was there when Io Shirai was still the leader. Or wasn't the leader and it was Momo. One of the two. I just know Io was still there when Azumi came into the group.
Right.
I believe Azumi was handpicked by Io Shirai, wasn't she?
If I remember correctly, yes.
And I saw, and I'm like, well, I guess Io knows talent then when she sees it. She saw something in her, and she was correct. So.
And you know what? It also makes me wonder because I think it's safe to say that Azumi. I mean, if you ask a lot of people, that Azumi was the favorite to win this Cinderella tournament semifinal match with Ami Sourei. It makes me wonder if there were any sort of on the fly booking changes because, I mean, I don't think many people would have expected a finals between Hanan and Ami Sourei.
I mean, a lot of people did once they saw Hanan beat Star, because people are a lot of people, not a lot of people, but a few actually assumed that when she got the Starlight Kid, it was going to be Starlight Kid winning, and then it seemed like from at first, because given on which side of brackets they were on, it did seem like from a side view that they were going to go with Azumi versus Starlight Kid, but then something, maybe crowd reaction. Maybe, I don't know, something changed. Maybe it was always the plan.
Interesting.
I mean, because we'll never know. We don't know how the mind of Mr. Okada works right now.
Right.
He's doing this for the first time, basically. So
yeah, we're still getting used to him.
Though I will admit, so far he's doing a phenomenal job. I will admit that.
Yeah, so far so good.
Though we'll see. In a few months, that may change depending on how he does the 5-star, because that's going to be the big test right there.
Oh yes.
Even though it's going to be a short tournament, very short tournament. It's going to be like, I guess it feels like it's going to be the same length as the Continental Classic, kind of, in a way.
Now it does make me wonder because they're going to be finishing that tournament in August, the same month that it starts. Will they still do the title shot in December, or could they possibly do it a little
I don't
earlier?
know. Well, I don't know, because when Suzu won, she didn't do the title shot she still got the title shot, but it wasn't against who it was supposed to be, and it was supposed to be in October, I believe.
Right.
So, past winners, I know since what was it? When did they start doing Dream Queendom? 21, I believe it was.
Something like that. Yeah, it was pretty recent.
That I believe it was 21. When who didn't Utami win in 2020?
Yeah, because she beat Mayu.
Let me look here. Now I gotta look this up here. Now I'm gonna do this here.
And then Shuri beat Utami, and then Giulia beat Shuri.
I'm doing some on the fly. Okay, so it was 2021 when it first started doing the Dream Queendom, because on that show, that's when Shuri put on it was a winner take all match where Shuri did put her WSA title on the line against Utami's world title. So,
oh yeah, that's right.
That was the year. So yeah, but previous years they were they won the 5-star, and they would get a match at a later date.
Right. It was just a later date. I see.
Yeah. No, who knows? But yeah. Ami Sourei gets the win here. A clean win too. I was surprised by the clean win myself, but I believe she hit her it was like a sit down tombstone a little bit.
Oh yeah, the like a thunderbolt.
Yeah, it was shades. Every time I see it, that gives me shades of Owen Hart back in the day. They are doing that, but yeah, fun match. I give this a good 8 out of 10 there for that. Fun little match here. Then we got a 3-way tag team match, which features other people who are not doing anything important on the show. Crazy Star, which is Suzuki and the High Speed Champion Mayu with Mai Sakurai, which I made the joke on Twitter, and I don't remember who I told this to, but do you remember when she cried like a baby when DDM split up?
Oh, yes.
I made the joke on Twitter and was like, she got over that very, very quickly.
When you think about it, she did, because she was bawling her eyes out and was talking about, I'm going to go with Giulia. I'll follow you where you go. And it's just like, whatever.
So, I'm like, so she's going to follow her. Mai Sakurai would be a perfect fit for WWE in the future, too. I'm just thought I'd throw it out there. She has that look that WWE would be looking for. Just saying. But yeah, they defeated Queen's Quest, Saya Kamitani, Miyu Amazaki, and Lady C, who didn't take the pin this time. I was very surprised by that. I joke a lot.
Lady C didn't take the pin.
I love Lady C, by the way. I don't want people to think I don't like her. I love Lady C. I love all the women in Stardom.
Yeah,
I joke all the time.
I really would have thought she would have started getting more wins by now than what she has in her record.
But they also defeated the team of Hazuki, Koguma, and Saida, who looks phenomenal by her new look. I love the short hair that Saida's got going on. That looks great.
Oh yeah.
But the one who I was surprised to take pin here was Saya Kamitani. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. I mean, I was kind of.
But it does make a little bit of sense because I believe it was maybe somebody in this match did. That's right. Suzuki and Mayu actually challenged Aphrodite for the tag titles, so it makes a lot of sense that May would pin Saya Kamitani.
Yeah, I would totally be down for it. Of course, Crazy Star was the runner-ups in last year's Goddess of Stardom Tag League. Of course, they fell to Define Kingdom, right. So I'd totally be down for that.
I believe the only title Suzuki actually has Suzuki actually held a championship in Stardom. Wasn't the hardest title that she held?
Yes, because her Prominence right? They had the titles, and they also won the inaugural Triangle Derby.
Speaking of Prominence, they're going to be taking a sabbatical. If you've heard about that,
I was wondering about that because I heard one post said that they were going to do lesser shows for a while.
Yeah, that's the post I read too. The lesser shows.
Okay, like it's going to be like monthly or something like that. Like maybe one a month. So interesting.
Yeah, that's what I saw that. I'm like, huh. I'm like, okay. As long as I get to see Risa back in Stardom at some point, I'd love because I like her. She's great.
Risa Sera has one of my favorite entrances. I mean, the copper and blue robe, right, and her theme. Like, I love her entrance.
She has She also has one of the most generic ring attires, but she makes it work, which is like the taped up bra strap and the baggy shorts. But she'll kick your ass.
Yeah, that's a good ring attire as well.
Though I do wish now that she's not married to that dum anymore, she doesn't really need to be. I don't think she should be keep doing all the death matches that she's doing. She doesn't really have a need to do that anymore. She really only did that because she was with that guy. So.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
But she's still doing them. I mean, I believe she just recently wrestled Chris Brooks.
Yep. At I think it was the Bachikan Friends show.
Yeah, she's great though. I like. She had a match with Giulia during Giulia's title run. A lot of people didn't care for it. It was all right, but I thought better of it. Maybe they would have done like a stipulation or something, but yeah.
Oh.
But anyways, but yeah, this was great. What 3-way tag here? Love every one of these women that are on in this match here. Though I did come around on Saida a little bit, or no, not Saida. So I liked Saya Kamitani, like, but not as like everyone else did, like where everybody's like super into her and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I really wasn't a fan of the John Cena-esque booking they were doing with her in the Wonder title run. That kind of annoyed me a little bit because I still think, this is just me, I still think Hazuki should have been the one to beat her when fans were allowed to chant again. Because if you remember on that show, it was the Triangle Derby Finals. She was the most over person in the entire show.
Yeah. And it makes sense too. And just with how a lot of the matches that Hazuki, how she was getting booked, because if I remember correctly, one of the recent 5-star Grand Prix, it was either last year or the year before, she went like 7 or 8 straight victories before she started losing.
It was 22.
2022. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, snap. Hazuki's on a roll.
When I saw that, I'm like, yeah, I assumed right there, I was like, she's going to win the 5-star, isn't she? And they'll ended up being Giulia, of course. But a lot of people were trying to tell me Giulia's going to win it. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like they're going to go with Hazuki, given how she's been booked in this tournament. But they were right. It was Giulia. Not that I wasn't complaining. Giulia's great. Sucks that she's leaving now, but she's going to be off she'll be fine in WWE. Guys, don't worry. She'll be fine.
Oh, agreed. Absolutely.
Look like at Io Shirai. She's going to be on one of the biggest matches in her career at WrestleMania. Giulia's going to be fine. But
I will say this though, and I really, really hope to God that I'm wrong on this. But how I feel about Hazuki is kind of how I feel about Momo Watanabe. Like, I'm just having a hard time believing that they're going to give both of those ladies another singles title run.
I agree.
But I hope I'm wrong. I super hope I'm wrong.
Somebody tweeted out, Momo's going to win the red belt, isn't she? I'm like, I would love that. She absolutely deserves it. I feel like she's deserved that red belt for a very long time. But that's just me. We'll get to Momo in a little bit, but but like I said, Hazuki, she's great. She loves liking her fans' tweets. I've noticed that quite a bit.
Yes, I was hoping she was going to be booked on the U.S. show, but
she still might be booked on the U.S. show. We don't know. There's like 2 more weeks before they got 1 more week, I guess, before 1 more week, which is
okay,
because next week is that, and then the following week is so. But
there's still
Koguma's
time.
great. I'm so happy to see Koguma back. I'm so glad she's feeling a little bit better than what happened with her. So she does. I know a lot of people don't see it. I see it. She does look a little different.
Yeah, she does.
Slimmed down a little bit.
Still cute and fluffy though.
Yep, absolutely.
But definitely, Fukuoka Double Crazy is one of my favorite tag teams. So I definitely love the chemistry those two have. But Koguma, high speed genius.
But yeah, I'm begging. I'm very glad to see her back. I don't remember what her original injury was, but it was good enough or bad enough to keep her off the road for a couple of months. So,
right.
I believe it was October when it was announced that she had gotten injured or something like that.
Yeah, like, did they ever disclose the injury?
I don't know.
Okay, because I don't remember if it was ever disclosed what the injury was.
But yeah, this match was good. I like one of my favorite things about I love Suzuki. Her time will come. she will win that red belt at some point. It's going to happen. Just people got to be patient with that. We were all patient with Maika. Y'all can be patient with Suzu, right? I love the tequila shot. That's one of my favorite moves I've ever seen.
Yes, like first time I've ever seen a move like that, courtesy of Suzuki.
And I said, I believe somebody in WWE is doing the tequila shot now. I forget who it was, but
Tatum Paxley.
That's
Tatum
right.
Paxley.
I'm like that move better be in 2K24. I don't think it is, but the closest thing you're going to get to the tequila shot is Kofi's SOS. So
yep.
And I joked when Tatum Paxley did the move. I'm like, well, she must have been watching some Suzuki matches this past week.
Yeah, exactly.
But nice to see get a win from whatever they're gonna. I feel like they're gonna turn this into a faction. These three have to become a faction at some point, right?
Yeah, I could see it happening, especially now, because to be honest with you, I originally thought that the pairing of Suzu and May, I was like, what? That makes no sense. But after they got going for a while, I was like, you know what? This actually works.
Yeah, I mean, I can feel like they're going to do something with this because I first, because I my crazy ass booking, right, was insane. So when they were doing the whole thing with Giulia, Maika, and Suzu and everything was and Maika, Suzu and Giulia. Giulia was paying more attention to Suzu and stuff like that.
Right.
And Maika seemed to be jealous a little bit. And they did the whole spot. I don't remember what show it was, but it was, I believe it was after, it was either after Suzu won the 5-star or was beforehand that this is when Prominence came down and started beating up Suzu and Giulia. And Maika just walked off and took her sweet ass time to come back and help. I don't remember I don't remember what show this was or when it happened. But I'm like, are they gonna have Maika take over Prominence? That was my whole booking idea. I was like, are they just gonna have her take over Prominence? Because that'd be badass if they did that.
Interesting.
But obviously that didn't end up happening. Because I was expecting a full Maika heel turn coming out of this, but then Maika became the most over babyface on the roster, so that just threw that out the window.
She still to this day has one of the coolest entrance themes in Stardom.
Oh, her and Utami have like the coolest battle anime themes I've ever heard.
Yeah, Utami's is excellent as well.
Lady C's is pretty good too.
I'm ready. As she likes to say.
Yeah. I was surprised when I found out Lady C was a former high school teacher.
Yeah, I did learn about that as well. And
I joked and said, if I was still going to school and Hangman Page and Lady C was my teachers, I'd be going to school every day.
I really miss her pre-match comments.
What were her pre-match comments?
I mean, she would really just go into detail and would always finish with, I'm ready.
Well, I mean, that sounds like something a former high school teacher would do. So,
yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, this was fun. What would you give this match here?
At least a 7.
Yeah, I would agree with that there. Crazy Star and them get the win here. Don't know when they're going to do the Gods of Stardom tag match, but that should be a fire match when it happens.
Oh yes.
So I was very surprised of how many L's Queen's Quest took on this show.
Yeah, they took a handful.
I mean, I wasn't surprised with the outcome of the main event. I a little bit, but not so much. Next up, we got a match that was built as the last time ever, kind of. Which I was surprised at the amount of time it only got, because I'm like, okay. It was Giulia and Tam Nakano for supposedly the final time. And they beat the shit out of each other.
It felt like a hate, little bit of love, hate relationship between these two.
And I didn't even know this was the headbutt at one point, but at one point in this match, Giulia hit her so damn hard that there was a big ass bump on Tam's head.
It looked like the size of a big potato. Like
it looked like the size of the baseball that Mayu Iwatani would be throwing. That's what the size.
And the crazy thing is, this isn't even the first time Tam has had a hematoma on her head. Like,
probably the first time was probably with Giulia.
It might have been. Now that you mention it, it might have been.
Speaking of that baseball, I was somewhat relieved and disappointed at the same time when I found out the baseball was an inflatable baseball.
Oh, it's an inflatable baseball?
Do you really think she's going to be throwing a real baseball in front at kids in the crowd?
I mean, not a real one, but I wouldn't have thought of an inflatable one. I would have thought maybe
I found out it was an inflatable one because I saw Natsuko Toro stomp on it and it flattened. That's how I found out it was inflatable.
Okay, because I was thinking it was like a little toy ball that had an armband wrapped around it.
Yeah, that's not going to flatten on the foot of Natsuko Toro. But you know, we'll get to her in a little bit. Who I don't dislike, by the way. She's just very weird when it comes to being a leader. We'll get to that though. But this match was all over the place here. Like they beating hell at each other here. No, I don't think it was as good as their All-Star Grand Queendom match that they had last year, but it was still good. I was surprised by the time limit draw though.
Yeah, I did not expect that. I was very intrigued with how it started off. Looked like they were going to handshake, and it was just like, you know what? Screw the handshake, and just started hitting and beating up on each other.
Giulia was all for it. Like she was ready. Like she was wanted to do the handshake, and Maika and it's not Maika. Tam was like, nope, not happening.
Yeah, and then they just started wailing on each other. I was very kind of cringy on just the number of headbutts because I don't know about you, but it makes me think too much of Okada Shibata.
Yeah.
When Shibata was put on the shelf for a long time. I mean, you know, thankfully he was able to return and keep his career going, but I just have that feeling. Just the number of headbutts, and then you see
that is one of the things that when she goes to WWE, she is going to have to scale back on that headbutt,
right?
Which I don't think she has a problem doing. She will adapt to WWE. I ain't worried about that. Plus, she'll have Meiko Satomura there to help her with all that stuff too. So, because if there is anybody who is of the Joshi scene that is working behind the scenes at WWE with coaching, that is Meiko Satomura.
And is a very good one.
Yeah, she's a great... I believe she was also doing... when they were doing NXT UK, I believe she was a coach for the UK Performance Center, too.
She was.
Mm-hmm. But right now she's also... Right now she hasn't actually wrestled a match in over 9 months, I believe. 6 months.
Since Roxanne Perez?
Yeah, I believe so. But she's also doing her Sendai Girl promotion too. So, which I'm still a little bit surprised they are still letting her do. Well, not now. I mean, but when Vince was still there, I was surprised that they're still letting her do that. Under Triple H, he doesn't care.
Right. He's like, yeah, girl, do your thing.
But yeah, this was like they both went out. They even hit each other's finisher, which is something they did in their last match too.
Yeah,
I thought she was going to beat Giulia with her own Northern Lights bomb.
Right.
Almost got me. I'm like, she's not going to beat her on her way out with her own move, is she? Nope.
And it really was interesting how they both went for pinfalls and then pull each other up, stopping the pinfall count.
Yeah, and if you notice, I don't think any of the faction members were out there either. Well, Giulia doesn't have a faction anymore, but Tam's wasn't out there.
Yeah, actually didn't notice anybody. I felt like it was pretty clear ringside.
Though I'm surprised it didn't go for the table this time around because I remember the All-Star match where I believe Giulia is the one who set the table up and just yeeted Tam off the top of the rope and just threw Drover through the table. Didn't have that happen here.
That's a good point. And usually Giulia's known for doing the table pile driver.
But am I surprised? I mean, a lot of people are going to accuse her for not putting her over. I'm like, come on now. She didn't book the show. She didn't book the show. She's not a booker.
Now, how do you feel about the time limit draw? Because I was just kind of like,
I don't know really. I'm indifferent on it. Unless, there's no unless because they said this was going to be their last match against each other for a long time until Tam goes somewhere else because if she doesn't, you either going to go over to Rossi's promotion or you're going to go to WWE because that's the only two places Giulia's going to be at in the next 6 months. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what Giulia's doing for the next week or two. Actually, it's only this week and next week because we don't know. We don't know what other dates she has. With Stardom, because like I said, when April 1st comes, she's no longer an employee of Stardom.
Correct.
And she's already told Stardom that she's leaving. They've kind of already confirmed it. Starlight Kid, when she did her Tokyo, I think it wasn't a Tokyo Sports interview that she said it. She basically confirmed the rumors of Giulia leaving. Maika threatened to put somebody through a table. For that one, yes, which was funny. That killed me. Maika's my champion for a reason. Okay.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with Nakano. I know Nakano is going to be at the Philly show. I believe, yeah. Which I believe was she at the New York show?
I believe so. I do find it interesting that she's the only Cosmic Angels member they announced so far.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For the show.
Who else is in Cosmic Angels, by the way? Because I know that not Twitter. What's this thing called? Wikipedia tells me one thing, but I don't know if that's actually accurate anymore. Because right now, Natsupoi isn't announced for the show. I think Sariano is announced for the show, isn't she?
She wasn't last time I checked, but from what I've seen on Twitter, a lot of folks want Natsupoi, like badly.
Well, yeah, she just came back, so of course they're going to want her on the show.
Yeah.
Sariano, who is fixing to sign with full time with Stardom finally.
Yep. That's how you know the times have changed. When as long as she's been a freelancer, whew.
I'm just surprised it took them this long to get her signed. According to Wikipedia, which you shouldn't really trust Wikipedia, but according to this thing, Unagi is still a member of Cosmic Angels somehow.
Wait, really?
Yeah. According to Wikipedia, I mean, to be fair, she never left the group. Tam never kicked her out.
This is true, because she kind of had that falling out with Mina.
Now she, according to her, she said Stardom hired her. I don't know that if she means Rossi or Bushi Road. We'll find out. But if she starts popping up again in Stardom shows, we know it was Rossi Ogawa that let her go.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Which is weird that and they fired her when she was injured too, which is kind of a dumb, kind of a stupid thing to do in my opinion. But
it is pretty messed up to fire somebody as they're injured. So,
but yeah, match was good. But again, I didn't say this match? Didn't think this match was better than their All-Star match that they had, no, that's right. I was thinking of the Dream Queen. I said I'm both thinking of Dream Queen. I'm like, no, Julie beat Shuri for them on that show.
Yep.
But I still don't like the fact that her title run lasted as long as it did. All because because Bushiroad thought it was a great idea to put two people who absolutely hated each other in the same match together, knowing full well neither one of them wanted to work with each other.
Right.
And for some reason, Bushiroad blamed that on Giulia, even though Giulia specifically said, "Why am I defend?" And I agree with her. Why should she be defending her title against people who don't work for the company?
Right.
She's got a point.
Because that goes back to when she defended it against Maya Yukihi.
Yeah, that was the match that apparently got her in trouble with Bushiroad and why they did the whole thing with Tam Nakano.
Yep.
Which is, I'm like, guys, you were the ones who booked this match, knowing full well that neither one of these two liked each other, personally or professionally.
Yeah, and it was crazy too because if I remember correctly, that match went to a no contest.
And it was great too.
Yeah,
which is crazy. Like, they hated each other, but it was awesome.
Yes. Which, by the way, I've met Maya Yukihi. She's very chill.
Oh yeah, no, she's gorgeous too. So, but and she's great. So, but yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with. Like I said, we don't know what we're gonna do with Giulia. We don't know what's gonna happen next with Tam Nakano. At some point, Tam Nakano will get her rematch with Maika for the title. That's gonna happen.
Yes.
My thing is, if it happens, Maika should absolutely win. Just to prove
Agreed.
that her winning the title wasn't a fluke, and she was able to beat the person who never lost the title.
Yep, I can agree with that for sure.
So there's that. And then we got a 10-woman tag match. It was speaking Cosmic Angels. This is probably why they weren't out there to begin with. They took on the team of Oedo Tai. Speaking of weird leaders of groups, Natsuko Toro, Starlight Kid, Momo Watanabe, Rina, and the oldest member of the Stardom roster, Fukuji Death. Taking on Sariano, Natsupoi, Yuna Minozori, Sakura Aya, I believe that's her last name, and Sakura Karora, which is try saying that 10 times fast. This match was actually okay. So we like to poke fun at Natsuko Toro because it's fun to do. No ill will towards her or anything like that. This was actually a lot of fun. Given the amount of talent that were in this match, this was a lot of fun.
I definitely liked how everybody was utilized, especially, kudos to Aya Sakura. Good to see her back and getting plenty of action since she returned from injury. And, Sayaka Kurara's another one that's, little by little moving up and has one of the best spears currently.
Yeah, I love the moment where the spot that she does all the time. Fukujin Death does the cigarette spot, right?
Of course.
I love the spot where she was doing this and Aya's like, no smoking allowed. I'm like, she's pro non-smoking. I'm all for it.
Oh yeah,
that was great. Popped me. That was great. Rina's great too. We saw her have probably her best match of her title defense against. Oh my God, who was it? Who was it that she just recently wrestled? It was at the Cinderella show, the first night of the Cinderella.
Oh, it was oh my
I remember praising the match. Who was it? Oh my God, this is gonna bug me now. It was it was from Diana.
Oh, Momo was it oh my goodness. Was it Momo Kahana's? No. What am I thinking?
Hold on.
Crap.
I'll see. Well, that's why I'm going to.
Yeah, I'll race you.
Miran.
Oh, Miran. That's right.
Miran, yeah.
From Diana. That's right.
She's only 14 years old, by the way, guys.
Yes. Yeah. And she had a really good showing in that match.
Yeah, to me that was her best match since becoming the champion. that was her best title defense in my opinion. So and Rina's getting very she's getting better, which is great to see. Mm-hmm. But I believe, and she's got sisters in the business. So obviously Hanan, who won the Cinderella Tournament, I believe is her whole older sister.
Yes, Hanan, the oldest,
and then her twin sister is Hina, who is in Queen's Quest, I believe, right?
Yep.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, so that was great. Fukuji Death, I get it. She's supposed to be the comedy character now that they kicked out the other comedy character, which is Psychic Asuma.
Right.
Which, by the way, I want to take back to the I believe it was the first night, the first show when Konami came back for that show, and I believe when she teamed with members of God's Eye. Like she was not playing around with Fukuji Death. I'm like yeah, because she knows her games.
Yeah, that much is true.
I'm like, I ain't playing around with your stuff. I know how this works. I was doing this stuff with you. I know how your games work. I'm not falling for it this time. But other than that, yeah, that was great. Momo Watanabe. I always sing my praise of Momo Watanabe. Phenomenal professional wrestler. Just wish she was doing more. But I'm glad that this character, though, I love this character. I know a lot of people either are jokingly crap on it or just don't like it. This character, Momo Watanabe, is phenomenal. Okay, the Black Peach needed to happen because she wasn't really. When she was given the reins of Queen's Quest later from Io Shirai, the reason I don't think they're ever going to bring this up into a story, but I think, from my eyes vantage point, Momo, the reason she accepted the invitation from Oedo Tai is because she felt like she could not do or be up to standards of what Io Shirai wanted of her as leader of Queen's Quest, and she just couldn't handle it anymore. That's the way I saw it. I don't know about you.
Yeah. I mean, that definitely makes sense.
Because you had that match, because I did watch the match, because I finally got to watch it a few months ago, because I never actually saw the initial match. I saw the turn, but I never actually seen the match the actual whole match that led to her turn, which was I believe it was the loser joins the faction.
Yeah.
And she just ended up doing it anyways.
Yep.
Good question though. When you watched that, did you ever see that when that happened?
Yeah.
Okay, what was your initial reaction? Because I've never actually known your initial reaction to that.
It was kind of one of those. It was kind of one of those. Oh, really? Type of reactions where it was like it was a surprise, but it wasn't a. Oh my God! I can't believe that just happened. Sort of surprise.
Because that's babyface. Momo Watanabe was a likable babyface too. So,
right.
She's still a likable person. If you met her in real life, like when she's not being the Black Peach, she is like the most lovable person to be around.
Well, hopefully he'll get a chance to this April.
Yeah, she'll be there. So, but I don't know what she's going to do on that show. But she was one of the very few people that actually was wrestling on the last time they were in the States, where she defended the World of Stardom Championship against Utami.
Yep, I actually.
Which I believe believe it or not, that was my first introduction to Utami, by the way.
Oh, okay, very nice.
And when I went back to when I started going back to watch more Stardom, and then when I see this redhead beauty pop up my screen, this Red Queen, I'm like, she looks familiar. And then I go back to seeing the show that I see. I'm like, there's no way this is the same woman that I saw face Momo Watanabe. There's no way this is the same Red Queen that I'm looking at right now. And it is.
Yeah. I'm
like, what a transformation. Same thing with Momo Watanabe. Transformation looks great. I love that she keeps adding to her hair color too. At first she had just purple, and she's putting yellow in there, matching her her outfits and stuff like that.
Oh,
I
yes.
need a copy of that coat that she has because that looks really cozy to wear.
Oh yeah, the coat she wears, her ring entrance. Yeah.
Baseball bat's great. So I touch. I all that stuff here. Starlight Kid's phenomenal always. Though she is teasing something. I don't know if they're teasing, but I'm still trying to figure out what they're teasing with her and Tam Nakano. What do you think that is?
Oh yeah, I did notice. She whispered something into Starlight Kid's ear.
Yeah, not once, but twice. They've done it twice now.
Yeah, like it does kind of make me wonder. And I mean, I could see Starlight Kid kind of stepping out of Oedo Tai, being that, she went through Oedo Tai. She's a lot more established.
I feel like her going to Oedo Tai was very needed when it happened.
Yeah.
I don't know if she kept doing the anime type character that she was somewhat doing in Stars. I don't know if she would have lasted as long as she would have if she stayed there.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Although my heart did break because I was pretty big for the MK sisters, because I felt like after Arisa Hoshiki
that storyline that they were doing with her and Mayu fighting, wanting to go one against whoever it was, multiple people, just to get Starlight Kid back. That was beautiful. That was great stuff.
Oh yeah, because I felt like after Arisa Hoshiki retired, the main person that she could trust was Starlight Kid.
And at first, Starlight Kid wasn't too thrilled about being in Oedo Tai, and then she had that match with, oh my god, who was it? Who was it that she? Oh my god, who was it? Oh, somebody. Who the heck did she have that match with? That she started showing a different side of her that people are like, huh?
Oh man, that's.
I forget who it was. I watched the video. I don't know if you watched his videos of it. It's Meerkat Ultra.
Yeah, familiar.
Okay, so he was doing, I guess a history. Or not? Oh no, it wasn't him. It was somebody else. Somebody else did a video about Starlight Kid, and did some type of a video where it was a match where she joined Oedo Tai, and then she started showing this edgier side of her, and I don't know what it was. Anyway, but it just works now. She's doing great now, and when she came back from her injury, I think it was her ankle injury that she had.
Yes.
When she came out during that, I believe it was I think it was a 3-way match. I believe it was her. Who was it? I know it was Suzuki and somebody else. Well, I think wasn't it May?
It might have been May.
It could have been May. And she came out and she was throwing gifts to fans. She's doing things. I'm like, kid, you're supposed to be a heel. What are you doing? And then I'm like, they're teasing. It seems like they're teasing a babyface turn for Starlight Kid. She's been playing by the rules lately too.
Yeah. It's also interesting with her. Every post that I've made on X, positive towards her, she's always liked.
Oh, well, I mean, the last tweet she liked of mine was when the match I mentioned at the start of the review, which was the match with her and Osmi. I said that was my favorite women's match of the year, and both her and Osmi liked the tweet. I'm like, oh my god, they know I exist, so I must be doing something right.
Yeah. Now on the subject of Azumi, I have to say my favorite high-speed title defense was actually her versus Mei Suruga. Still one of my favorites to this day.
That's good too. That's good. But I'm still pro Azumi Starlight Kid for some reason. I prefer their first match that they had over the one that they had last year.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Don't get me wrong, that match they had last year was great because they actually got to have the match in front of fans that were able to make noise for once.
Yes.
The first match they had, they couldn't. They were having this banger of a match, and the fans could not chant anything, which was disappointing.
Because all they could do was clap. Right.
But when Japan finally lifted the no masks rule and the clapping and all that stuff, I was expecting like they did make noise for that match, but it wasn't as loud as they were for the Sayaka Watani Hazuki match. So
right.
But yeah, Natsuko Tora, we've mentioned this multiple times. I don't hate her. She's not a bad wrestler. She's really good. Right. But she's a terrible leader as a group. Like,
yeah,
I'm like, this is not what Kagetsu left Oedo Tai for. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with Natsuko Tora. I've kept up with her, especially back when she used to team up with Jungle Kiona.
Right.
But
I miss Jungle Kiona,
like,
though. I hope she's doing right.
Yeah, which if you ever get a chance to meet her, she is a sweetheart. I met her 3 times.
I've never met her, but I've maybe messaged her maybe once or twice on Instagram. She gave me like a heart emoji or whatever. Whatever. She seems like a very nice lady.
Oh, she is an angel.
I did see a video of hers when she was over at the States doing, I think she did GCW show.
She did that.
There was a show and somebody filmed like a short little video with her, and she was trying to speak English. It was really adorable.
Yeah.
That was
I
funny.
also met her through DPW because I'm actually in North Carolina. So
funny enough, I'm in the other Carolina, so we're not even that far apart.
Nice.
But yeah. So Natsuko Tora, not a great leader, but she's great at everything else she does. She has a great look to her. I know early on in the Oedo Tai, she looked completely different than she does now.
Right.
She's got this like, I don't know, this great Muda-esque look to her, which I anytime somebody tries to not imitate, but like pay homage to the great Muda, which is great because he is one of my all-time favorite professional wrestlers.
Really, mine too.
Love me some Muda. Him and the Undertaker, top. I put them in. They're in my top 5.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
But yeah, Natsuko Tora does the. I don't know I'm not exactly sure when she started doing the mist. I believe she started doing the blue mist is when she's doing, which like this is one thing. Okay, this is the only nitpick I have with the blue mist. Every time anybody does it, outside of Muda, Natsuko Tora does it now, and Asuka's doing it, but nobody actually does what they're supposed to do when they get sprayed with the blue mist. The blue mist is supposed to put you to sleep. They are still going. These people who get sprayed in the face with the blue mist keep going 15 more minutes in the match.
That is true. That now that you mention it,
but when Buddha hits it, people are out for the remainder of the match. So, but yeah, Momo Watanabe got the win here because it seems like because they're obviously getting ready to give her an eventual title match with Maika, which I love what they're doing with that whole situation here because I believe I don't remember which show it was, maybe 2-3 shows ago. It was backstage, maybe it was a backstage interview that she wants a match with Maika because she feels like because she's the one who almost came close to beating her in the mini tournament that they did, and
it's like she felt like she kept ducking her.
Which when we get to the main event, she may be she may be on to something. There is something I did want to mention before we go to this match here because I forgot to mention the post-match interview, not interview, but the comments from Tam Nakano, basically saying that she feels somewhat relieved and she doesn't want she doesn't want Giulia to go. Like she said it in the interview, she says, "Hey Giulia, don't go. Quit quitting."
Because she wants to rough her up some more.
And Giulia says it's relieving that what I should be saying. I'm quitting Stardom. Basically saying there's no way that's happening, which is a lie, Giulia. We know you're leaving.
Right.
if that day ever comes that you leave the ring before me, be sure to call me. I'm like, okay. So there's a little stuff there, and then after the match, Tam goes after her. They start beating. I thought they were going to fight again, and no, she just falls on top of her and starts crying in her arms, which was like I got a little bit of heart got tugged a little bit there on that spot, but yeah, that's something I did want to mention before we get on to these Team Woman tag here. But the Team Woman tag was fine. It was great. Sariana was a goddess in my opinion. She's great. Every time she comes on frame, I'm like, everybody be quiet. The goddesses arrive. She's great.
Just keeps that look on her face.
Yeah, I sent you the video earlier of a TikTok video that Tam was doing. She's just not in. She's like not even into it. She's not even going to try.
Yeah,
which I love.
It's interesting though, because like I come across other random videos, like usually like they have nothing to do with Stardom or just outside of that, where she'll do a dance, but it's like you try to catch her doing any of that on a Stardom show, and like, nope.
She's unserious, but she's also very funny at the same time when she's not trying to be.
Right.
Natsupoi is great here. So happy she's back. Very, she had the same injury that took Utami out for a couple months. But thankfully, neither one of them had to have surgery, because that was another thing people were worried about, that they might have to have neck surgery, which thank God they didn't. Because that would have been worse for Stardom if that happened.
Natsupoi still holds the biggest turn in my heart when she turned on Giulia and DDM.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting she was in DDM. Giulia was in not Giulia. Tam was in not
Cosmic Angels.
She was in. She was also a member of Wado Tai too. Remember that? Think about that.
Yeah, which I had to look that up, because as I was getting to learn about Stardom, folks were like, Tam's been in Oedo Tai. I was like, no way. When I looked it up, I was like,
she's been. Yeah, she's been in 3 different factions. She was in Oedo Tai. She was in Stars.
Yeah, because when I discovered her, she was in Stars at the time. But yeah, folks were like,
I mean, Tam. Tam. I don't know when Tam. I don't think Tam was, because technically when Oedo Tai was kind of first revealed, they weren't really heels. They didn't really become heels until Natsuko Toro took over as leader.
That's a good point, because I would see them, they would get cheered and they would interact with fans.
Especially over, I remember seeing a video when they did one of the Ring of Honor tapings where it was, I believe it was Kagetsu, Hana, and Yuzuki, not Yuzuki, Hazuki, who went over to do some stuff, and they were doing a ring. I believe it was during. It was either one of the 6-woman tag matches, or it was during that tournament that Kagetsu was part of. I believe somebody dropped something. A fan dropped something, and I seen Hazuki come over and pick it up and hand it back to one of the fans.
Oh, nice!
I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, is this woman single? What?
Yeah.
Any guy who picks her up is going to be a lucky dude.
Yeah, I love her ring gear with the long robe.
Oh yeah, I believe she's been doing the long robe stuff for a very long time. Even with the Oedo Tai, she was doing the long robe stuff, but it's not as fancy as it is now. So,
right.
That's somebody I would like to meet, Hazuki, one day. She will be at Philly. You can probably get to meet her too.
Yeah, I hope she gets announced.
I'm pretty sure. Didn't they announce Hazuki for that show?
So far, the only Stars members they've announced so far is Mayu and Momo Kogo.
I could have sworn they've announced. Oh, anyways, well, they better have her on that show, because she's one of the most over women on the roster too.
Yeah, and in high demand.
Believe it or not, when she had that match with Mayu for the IWGP title,
mm-hmm.
the one who got the most reactions was Hazuki over Mayu, and that was a little surprising to me. So, but all these women are great. Utami Hayashishita, she's grown on me, though. I still think it's funny that she had to go through the ring order to get into the Queen's Quest, but the other two, nope. Or not Queen's Quest, Cosmic Angels.
Yeah, because she had to learn the dance. She had to lose weight. She had to do a bunch of stuff.
And but everybody else is like, "Nah, you're in." I'm like, you just probably be like, "What the heck, Tam? What was like? What?"
It's like that's how you gonna do me?
Okay, but I don't know if they're gonna get a new leader for they're probably not going to, because I know Momo says she doesn't want to do it. She's outright said multiple times she doesn't want to do the leader stuff. Maybe Starlight could take over, but she probably looks like she's going to be going out of Oedo Tai at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
But I like Oedo Tai, right? So I'm an Oedo Tai mark. Okay, and not a lot of people are. I don't really care for the House of Torture stuff that they've been doing more lately. That does need to stop. I don't mind when they do like the Bullet Club stuff, because that's why I can, when somebody asks me, can you explain Oedo Tai to me? I'm like, they are basically Stardom's version of the Bullet Club.
Right.
Though when Kagetsu was the leader of Bullet Club, not Bullet Club, of Oedo Tai, that was more like Bullet Club than what they are now. Because, when Kagetsu was the leader, it was basically people from outside of Japan that get to be part of that group, where, it was basically a foreigners group. Now they haven't had a new member since Momo joined the group. So we'll see when that ends. But this match, 13 minutes, 5 seconds. I would have said 13 minutes and 5 minutes. That wouldn't have made no sense. Yeah, this was great. Momo Watanabe gets the win here because, again, she's getting ready to do challenge for the championship. Because obviously, that's usually how it works. If they're challenging for the title, they end up getting the W. But yeah, overall, what did you think about this match?
I definitely thought it was pretty entertaining. Like I said, I was very happy to see Aya Sakura get a lot of love in this match. Just really starting to get her feet wet again since returning from injury. So I had a little bit of extra focus on her, and just I liked the lineup of Cosmic Angels used for this match, just to really sort of build more chemistry between this unit.
By the way, Aya is 27 years old. I didn't even know that.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that until I just looked it up.
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, she's so small. She looks like she's 18 or something.
Yeah, but then again, I had the same reaction when I found out Momo Kogo's age. I was just like, "What?"
Now I'm curious.
Momo Kogo.
What faction is she in again?
Stars.
That's right, Stars. So
But yeah, when I found out her age, I was like, "What?"
Oh, she's 38?
Yeah.
She don't look like no damn 38.
Exactly.
No, to be fair though, when you go look at Asuka's age, she's like 42.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
like,
she's still in
like,
excellent
what?
shape.
I'm like, what fountain of youth are these people finding? I want to know. I want to find this place. But yeah, great match. All the people involved did good stuff here. Mizori's great. All that stuff here. Momo Watanabe. Hopefully they do something with her, because if not, you might as well just join Rossy Ogawa. So
yeah, that's a fair point.
Then we got the finals of the Cinderella Tournament. Hanan defeated, because we've already mentioned it earlier, Hanan defeated Ami Sourei in the finals.
My favorite
here.
match of the card.
This was actually a short match too. I thought they were going to go a little longer than that. I don't know what the time limit is on.
It would have been nice if it went longer, but I enjoyed the back and forth between the two, especially the close near falls. I mean, Ami hit the Thunderbolt and the Blue Thunder driver. I mean, Hanan hit, tried to go for the 17 and even one of the backdrop drivers, and it wasn't enough. And I just really like the exchanges between the two of them. And like I said, it just made me call back to their Future of Stardom match where Ami dethroned Hanan, who was on a roll, and many may argue was one of the best Future Stardom champions in existence. But
I mean, because I don't know the actual the time links that they are allowed to have for the Cinderella. I know that I saw the finals of the G1, same thing, 5-star. It's 20, I believe it's 20 minutes for the outside the finals. I could be wrong on that. I know the G1's 30, but they went down to 20 for that for some whatever reason it is. But I don't know. I don't think there is a time limit for the Cinderella tournament. Is there?
I don't believe so. I think it just really came down to.
I mean, it would explain the length of the match if that is the case. But 11 minutes, like I said, good stuff. All the things you mentioned, I agree with. Hanan, actually, in hindsight, even though hindsight is only like 24 hours ago,
right?
It's the correct winner here. Even though I still would have preferred Starlight Kid or Azumi doing it, but still. Hanan, after the main event did come out, because I didn't know they were going to do. I wasn't sure if they're going to do that on the show or wait until later. But Hanan did challenge Soriano for the the Wonder of Stardom Championship. So they're
so she did take the white belt. Okay.
Yeah. Don't know when they're going to do that. I'm going to assume at All Star. Because after the Philly show, that is the next big show.
Right.
Because right now the only match we know that is announced for that show is Mayu Iwatani versus Sourei for the IWGP title. Correct?
And isn't that also where they're doing Maika Tam, or has that not been confirmed?
They haven't even teased that yet. So
okay.
Because we know we'll get the mic in a little bit, but I'm not sure. I think is Hanan announced for the Philly show?
Not yet.
Well, what about Ami? I think she is too.
I don't think so. I think so far the only God's Eye members announced are Shuri, Saki Kashima, and I guess if you still want to count Konami.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Well, they're counting Mariah May and Megan Bayne as Stardom talent. So. Oh
yeah, that's right. That was
and Willow Nightingale too. So.
Yeah, Maika called out Megan Bayne. So
we'll get to the Maika stuff in a little bit, but I don't know when they're going to do that match though. That should be a lot of fun. I don't think Hanan's winning the white belt, of course.
Right.
Because I think they're gonna. I don't know if they're still gonna do the Natsupoi thing because it feels like they've lined up other people for Soriano. Those being Starlight Kid, Hazuki, and there was somebody else that they lined up more recently. Who was that? I'm thinking of. It might have been Ami Sourei. I know Ami Sourei said at one point after, even though she had her match with Sai Kamatani, that she still wants another match with the white belt.
Yeah, I could see them still keeping her in the white belt picture.
But I know Starlight Kid and Hazuki still want a shot at Soriano, so those are gonna happen. I don't know when, but we'll see. Then we got the main event here. The World of Stardom Championship, the only title match on the entire show, which is a little surprising if you really think about it.
This is true.
Maika defends the World of Stardom Championship against Utami Hayashishita. This is Utami's first shot at the World of Stardom Championship since losing it to Sourei in 2021 at Dream Queendom. Which is, when you really think about it, I'm like, it's been that long.
Yeah, and they had one heck of a rivalry.
Yeah, this match, the longest match on the show, almost 30 minutes long. The statistics I pulled up here. So, Maika and Utami is 5-3-1. Maika has more wins over Utami. Maika has 5 wins over her. 2 of those wins came in one of the 5-star Grand Prix matches. I don't know which one it was. Utami, of course, beat her in their first ever match against each other. And then we do know the one match that they had for the World of Stardom Championship many years ago, which was, I believe that was Maika's first shot at the title.
I believe so, yes.
And then there was another match. I don't remember when that took place. That might have been the other 5-star match. I don't know. And then they had a draw, which was, I think it was a regular match. I'm not entirely sure. They've had total of 9 matches together. The elephant in the room, obviously, is we don't know what's next for Utami Hayashishita because she's not announced for a lot of anything past March. She wasn't even in the promotional material for the 5-star Grand Prix.
Yeah, a lot of buzz around the internet surrounding her.
I don't know what they're going to do because I know she's a Rossi favorite.
Yep.
She should be a favorite of anybody. I don't care. It doesn't matter who the person is in charge of. She is one of the best wrestlers on the planet. My favorite match of Utami's is that almost 1 hour match that she had with Sourei.
Oh yeah, where they had to restart it and gave them like another 30 minutes or something like that.
I watched that match and I'm like, holy hell, this is incredible stuff. This is storytelling at its finest. And then like when they did it, I'm like, they're totally gonna run this back at the end of the year.
Oh yeah.
And they did, and as good, it was still good, but it wasn't as good as that match that they had where they did the whole time limit draw stuff.
Right.
I don't remember who else she defended the title against. I know we mentioned the Maika thing here, and then she did the whole thing with Natsuko Tora, who unfortunately tore her ACL.
Yes, it was ACL.
From doing the most simplest thing, just hopping off the apron.
Yes.
Again, a lot of people don't seem to get this. Those things can happen at any point. It doesn't matter when it happens. It could happen in the ring. It could happen while walking to the ring. Or she just hopped down the ring apron and just something blew in her knee.
Right.
Which I felt bad for her too, because she was crying on the floor and like I'm like, oh, that's heartbreaking to see that stuff. But
yeah.
Same thing with Sayaka Mitani when she dislocated her elbow. I'm like when she came off the scaffolding, and I'm like,
doing the dive. It was against Tam Nakano 5-star Grand Prix match.
Yeah, for the first show, the main event.
Yep.
When they did that, and I thought, first I was like, well, first it took a while. I'm like, well, she's probably selling. That's what I thought, and then it took a little bit longer. I'm like, the crowd got very quiet, and I'm like, something's not right here, and then the referee ended the match. I'm like, oh no.
What shocked me, I didn't think she was going to be out as long as she was.
No, it was like it was like the very next day, Stardom was like, yeah, no, she cannot continue this in this tournament.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately, is what gave Suzu the win in her round, in her block.
Right.
She technically was a fresh woman at the end of the tournament. So, yeah, this was great though. Utami Maika's great. Maika, slowly became one of my favorites over the past 2-3 years. Who is, when I found out how old this woman was, I'm like, she did not look it. She's 25 years old.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how somebody found out what year it was that she was born, but I do remember that it was like one of those DDM streams when they were doing during the pandemic. That I think Giulia may have been drunk on stream and accidentally blurted out her age or what year it was. I know Maika said that Giulia was older than her, like a year older than her or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking probably the oldest of that group was either Giulia or Tekla.
Tekla is, let me look. Now I'm curious. Let me go. Donna Del Mondo, which is a great name for a faction, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Donna Del Mondo, Tekla is 30 years old. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think when Shuri was still in the group, I think she might have been the oldest.
Yeah, Maika's got a birthday coming up this weekend, actually. Yeah, she turns 26 on Sunday. So.
Oh, very nice. Uh-oh.
Yeah, she gets to celebrate her birthday as the world champion. Imagine that. But she had a great match, though. This is awesome stuff. You're always gonna have a great match. If you end up having a bad match with Utami, something is terribly wrong with you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Same thing with Maika, though. Maika's had some okay matches. The match that I said that determined to me that Maika should win the 5-star and should win the championship at the end of the year was the retirement match with Himeka at All-Star Grand Queendom last year.
Ah, yes.
When she did that, which, by the way, her crying her eyes out, telling Himeka to kick out when she does not want to pin her best friend. Great storytelling, first of all. Secondly, that whole match told me she's going to be the champion at the end of the year. I kept believing it. I wasn't sure if it was going to happen. When she lost the 5-star, I'm like, okay, maybe not this year. And then I'm like, well, sounds like they're going to do a rematch because they've set it up with this huge story. They've had this whole build here, so they're going to continue to do it. Then she won the championship. That first show post, where she beat Himeka, the first post show where I believe it was her and Giulia teamed up. I think it was during the Goddess of Stardom Tag League. Where I believe it. I don't think it was a tournament match, but I believe it was her and Giulia. I actually, believe it or not, it was her and Giulia versus Aphrodite, where they beat Aphrodite. And she got on the microphone and says, "This is my year now, bitch," or something like that.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like,
definitely.
Oh yeah, she's winning the championship the year. I'm like, this is gonna be your year. I'm so glad I stuck with my gut there.
Yeah, but it's very interesting to see that afterwards she, is calling out Megan Bayne, the same partner she won the Goddess of Stardom Tag League with as Divine Kingdom.
Which I'm interested to find out how Megan Bayne feels about what's going on with her and Mina Shirakawa.
Oh yeah,
because Mina is trying to be all sus, if you will, with Maika, which is understandable because Maika's great. Mina Shirakawa is great too. I always joke on Mina. I like Mina Shirakawa. I really do.
Oh, same. Absolutely.
Um, I personally don't know if I feel like she was still the right person to beat Saya Kamatani, because they kind of, when they did that, and they did do her wrong, if I'm being completely honest here.
Oh, absolutely.
You did not need to do the double title match there. That kind of like, because we know how Rossi felt about his golden girl Tam Nakano. So
yeah,
but like I said, this match was great. I love the hijack bomb. It's one of my favorite moves. Though I do like the move she's integrated now into her moveset, which is the shocking baser, the move that she learned from Shayna Baszler when she went over to the States.
Oh, yes.
Do her little excursion. Speaking of Shayna Baszler, I did actually was on one of her. I wasn't on her stream, but I was in her chat. And I asked her thoughts on Giulia, and she said, she said Giulia's freaking awesome. She's one of my favorites. I would love to wrestle her one day. I'm like, funny you should say that, Shayna. You may actually get that chance now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, shoot, I'm already very happy for her, having the opportunity to wrestle Masha. And I believe she's going to have more opportunities, now that, Mr. VKM's out of there, see more freedom of the WWE stars. And what's interesting is I used to cannot stand Shayna. But then once I watched more interviews with her, and I was just like, dang, she's actually really chill.
Yeah, no, Shayna's really cool, but like she's a nerd. She's into nerd things. She's probably one of the biggest gamers on the roster too, which is
and she loves Final Fantasy VII, which is my all-time favorite game.
She also loves Warhammer too, because you can tell with her, her gear is always inspired by Warhammer. So
yeah, so it was just really cool to discover that. And I don't know if you knew, Ami Sourei is a big gamer.
Yeah, I know that. She recently tweeted out that she got some type of flowers from, I guess, the video game developers of oh my god, what's the game that she likes? Oh my god,
the Yakuza games.
Yes, that's it. That's what it is. She tweeted out that image. I'm like, of course she did. I'm like, of course she got that from them.
Yeah.
Another big gamer in the Stardom world, Momo Watanabe.
Momo Watanabe, yeah.
She literally puts it in her bio. Oh, gamer too.
Nice.
I do miss those gaming videos she would do though. But I have asked her in DMs. I've asked her, would she like this? I asked her, can you bring those back? She wants to bring them back, but it's scheduling is the issue. So
right.
So
understandable.
But she wants to bring them back because she knows her friends like it. She likes video games, So, and I know she was doing them when she also joined Oedo Tai too. So,
very nice.
Also, I believe another gamer is oh my god, who was it? I think Utami. I think is a gamer too.
Really?
Not a heavy gamer, but she does play a little bit.
Okay.
What game was it that she was talking about recently? It was like it was not. I think it might have been. No, it's not her. It's Hazuki.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah,
I could definitely see it.
I don't remember. I think it was it might have been the Judgment Day games that she likes.
Oh, okay. Nice. I still gotta play through those.
I need to play them. I've been wanting to play them, but I haven't had a chance to. I don't have them yet, but I am going to get. I've been waiting for them to go down in price so I can get them.
Yeah, but understandable.
Yeah, this match was great here. The Maika driver. I know they call it the. I know it's really the Michinoku driver, but let's be real. People, it's now dubbed the Maika driver. They should just need to leave it as B. Okay. Do you call it the Maika driver or do you call it the Michinoku driver?
I mean, I usually say Michinoku driver. I mean, just because, I hear the commentators call it out. And then I know she occasionally likes to, trap the arm and do it as well. But I mean, I'd be down if they changed it to the Maika driver. I mean,
I mean,
it might as well be the Maika driver.
I mean, Maika, I believe, calls it the Maika driver herself. So, she was trained by. It's funny that she uses that move because she was trained by Taka Michinoku. so
yeah, exactly. So it makes sense.
But yeah, this is great. Almost 30 minutes here. Of course, it was great stuff back and forth. I loved it was a spot in the match. I thought it was one of the reversals that Maika did on Utami. I think Utami was trying to go for the hijack moment. She turned into something else. And it was a beautiful reversal. I forgot what. Oh
yeah.
I think she turned into it might have been the Maika driver that she turned into, but it was great though.
Yeah, because it was like she borderline flipped out of it and kind of landed on her feet, kind of on bended knees, but it was like she kind of landed on her feet.
It was great. I do love that Maika has brought into the Himeka bomb into her arsenal too. Because when she did that in the match with Suzuki, that's when I knew she was winning the title.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Although I understand her, she was mad as hell when she found out that half of the people, about half of her fans did not get to see her win the championship.
Yeah,
I do not blame her.
I don't blame her either.
I know a lot of people. A lot of people think she's blaming Rossi for that. Rossi couldn't. Even Rossi. I don't blame that on Rossi because he had nothing to do with that. That was not his doing. That was all on the building's Wi-Fi connection, internet connection. They lost the feed, not Stardom. So, but Stardom did the right thing by uploading the full match onto YouTube for a week or so that they had up there. And I also believe they uploaded the Soriano Mirai match too, because a lot of people didn't get to see the ending of that match too. So.
Yeah, because I think that was where part of that got interrupted.
But then after the match here, so they had this great match here. Maika pins Utami clean, which is a big deal.
Yes.
Because Utami is one of the, what's what I'm looking for? And there's a word I'm looking for. New Japan does it all the time. Is like, not Mount Rushmore, but like one of the top talents in the roster. Like you know how WWE has like
protected.
So I guess you could say that, but kind of like you have where WWE has like The Rock, Austin, and all that stuff. Utami is in that category of those people in Stardom. Is the point I was trying to make.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
She is one of the top names in the company. Getting a win, not even just a win, but a clean win over her is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't see Utami taking a lot of clean pinfalls that much.
It's rare.
Yeah,
it's very rare.
And Utami is one of those wrestlers that is giving too. Because she didn't have to do that, but she won. But she did it.
Yep,
because
she did.
Because she, again, like I said, she's one of those giving wrestlers. She, I believe who beat her last. She did it with Sherry. She did it with. Oh my God, who did she? She probably would have done it with Giulia had she got not injured, because I feel like Giulia probably would have beaten Utami in the 5-star. Yeah. But obviously, because I believe she didn't Giulia get her win anyways via forfeit in that one.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So poor Giulia was in the pre-show for that, anyways. But so was Suzu. But anyways, but yeah, getting a win over Utami is a big deal. Then after the match here, and if I can find the actual promo here,
and shout out to Mirai, who was on special guest commentary.
That's who that was. I thought that. Okay, yeah, no, it was Mirai. She was quiet through most of that match, if you notice.
Yeah, she doesn't seem like a big talker, which is weird because I mean she smiles
You know
a
who
lot.
who I put on commentary? Because she was all over the place during the first night of the Cinderella. Put Suzuki, put her back on commentary. She was great.
Yeah, Suzu was very interesting.
She was very animated. She was when Natsuko threw the stuff on the table, she grabbed the monitor. She was very concerned about the monitors going down. Like, that was funny. So put her back on commentary when she's not doing anything big.
I'd be down. Yeah.
But Maika got on the microphone afterwards, says, Utami, you finally acknowledged me as your rival. I guess she's the tribal chief now. I'd be all fine with her calling herself the tribal chief. I really hated you at first. Believe it or not, a lot of people were not fans of Utami at the beginning, which is strange, but understandable now. People have come around to her, if you've noticed. But it was selfish of me. She says, "I'm really happy. You know, you're the best rival after all. I'm glad I followed you and came to Stardom." That is true. They both came to Stardom at the same time.
Yep. Sure did.
She said, "Thank you." Utami says, "Maika, you're truly a woman who never stops evolving." That's true. She has evolved so much since her debut. And she's gotten better too, which is amazing. Which is why she's the world champion.
Indeed.
Utami then says, "You've got the red belt, and even though I lost, I'm so happy that I was able to fight the champion, Maika. As promised, we'd fight each other until one of us went down, and basically said, 'I'm glad that you're my rival. Thank you.'" And then they hugged it out. Well, they're about to hug it out, and then kudos to Maika sees Momo coming, charging at them, pulls Utami down, saving both of them.
Yep.
And then Momo gets on the microphone. Nope, that's wrong promo. Momo gets on the microphone. She is just a sassy woman here. Saying things like, "Hey, you guys, how long are you going to play nice with each other? It's disgusting. You're a shitty champion," talking about Maika. "It looks like you've had a hard time with the shitty challenger. next time. Let this Black Peach Momo Watanabe fight for the red belt." And Maika is just like, "Nah, I'm going to face Megan Bayne instead."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, that's fucked up."
Yeah.
But I like what they're doing here. Purposely ducking Momo gives you a little sympathy for Momo here, which I don't know if they're trying to, if that's on purpose, but it feels like they're trying to build some sympathy here for Momo. What do you think?
Well, what it makes me wonder is, are they going to play it out similar to how you remember Saki Kashima kept ducking Mei Sarah?
Well, yeah. But she purposely did that because she's a comedy character.
Yeah, and I hope, and I guess what I'm saying is I hope it doesn't kind of go in that sort of similar direction,
I don't think it will.
Because I feel like this one is a lot more serious.
Yeah, Momo is being more serious than when Saki was doing it.
But you do make a good point. One is more of a coward than the other. So.
Yeah, I mean, which is what helped her join God's Eye. So, and I guess she earned the respect of Shuri or whatever it was. But anyway,
yeah.
But yeah, Momo. It feels like they're trying to build some sort of sympathy here for Momo, because I don't know when they're going to do this match. Because if I had my way, I'd keep having her duck Momo until we get to the point where Momo is forcing her hand and getting Maika to actually force her to put the title on the line against her in a future match.
Well, okay, let me ask you this. Do you think it's possible that it could happen maybe as soon as Flashing Champions in May?
Maybe. That all depends on what they have her do at All Star, and what they have her do, and what they want to do, have her actually do at Flashing Champions. Because at some point or another, they're gonna do that match with I almost said Tony Iommi. I don't know why. I was thinking about Black Sabbath for some reason. I don't know why. With
Interesting.
I don't know where that came from. With Tam Nakano, that's going to happen at some point. We don't know when. And then I believe there was another person that has wants a match with Maika, which is, and another thing, because we mentioned Mina Shirakawa, it feels like they're gonna set up a future match with those two as well.
Yeah, I could see it.
Because I don't see, there's a good chance that Mina Shirakawa may be kicked out of this faction that she's in.
Oh, EXV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
it would.
Maika isn't too thrilled that Mina is in the faction because they keep going at each other about who is the leader. Personally, I think Maika feels more like the leader right now than Mina does. And
yeah,
and it feels like, again, because you see it around, Maika is not too thrilled of having around Mina. If you've noticed this,
I feel like she's not thrilled, but is tolerating her for now,
which is going to play into something whenever, because we don't know how long Maika is going to be the champion for. I would like her to be the champion all the way till Grand Queen, not Grand Queen, Dream Queendom, to see
Dream Queendom,
to see who. But that also depends on who they're going to have as the winner, because if Mina wins as you mentioned, possibly wins the tournament, then Maika should still be the champion by then. Because then you can do that. I could believe that. Or, because if Azumi wins the tournament, because that's another name a lot of people have been thrown out there. I don't know who would be the red belt champion. I don't know who would be the red belt champion if Starlight Kid won it. So I don't know. It depends. I don't know when they're gonna do the match with Momo Watanabe, but at some point I feel like they should have Momo force her hand and be like, kind of like, even though they didn't follow through with it, which I still think is stupid that they didn't follow through with it, which was, do you remember the Halloween show where they did that whole build up to this mystery X person, and it was Mirai as the champion, and they had and it ended up being Raka, and it was this whole plan set out by Momo Watanabe, and they never followed up with it.
Yeah, it was such a letdown.
Like, even before that, because I remember after Momo and Mirai had that phenomenal match that they had, right?
Right.
I remember post-match, Momo said straight up that she was going to make her life a living hell. She did that, but they never followed through with getting a rematch. I'm hoping this isn't the same situation here. That's what I'm worried about.
No, that's an understandable worry.
Because you have Momo, the Momo thing. We don't know where we're going with that. Maika, what's the challenge? We don't even know if Maika is going to get that match or not. We know both of them are going to be in Philadelphia, but
correct.
We don't know if that match is going to actually happen, because we don't know if Megan Bayne is going to accept it or not. We were going to find out, but yeah. Other than that, this whole show was actually great, top and bottom. My favorite match in the show, I would say the main event.
Yeah, that was a good pick. Like I said, for me, it was the finals of the Cinderella.
The second match, my favorite match is probably Ami Sourei and Azumi, and maybe Hanan and Ami Sourei after that. So,
okay.
But I teased the whole thing with the future of Stardom. Here we got Philadelphia show, which you're going to be at. You're going to go. What else are you doing during WrestleMania weekend?
So I am going to be attending 7 shows and a little bit of WrestleCon, because I did get a ticket for WrestleCon for the sake of being able to hopefully meet some of the stars there.
Right.
But the show lineup I'm doing, so I will be there from April 3rd to April 6th, so from Wednesday to Saturday. So April 4th, I'm going to the Defy Wrestling show, Stardom show, DDT show, and then the GCW, JCW versus the World show.
Right.
And then the following day, Friday, I'm going to the TJPW and Philly show, Progress Wrestling, and then Florida Culture.
So you're not attending Ring of Honor then? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I would have loved to, like, if they would have announced it earlier, before I made the plans.
I mean, DP Fabric kind of figured they were going to do that Friday. It made sense because they did that last year.
Right.
But I don't know how I'm gonna that weekend. That week is gonna be insane because I got to cover Raw, SmackDown. I don't really cover NXT that much. I will be watching Stand and Deliver because I am very interested in Trick Williams and Carmella Hayes. That should be a lot of fun. And I'm loving what they're doing with Roxanne Perez too. By the way, that's good stuff. She's living out her AJ Lee fantasy right now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Which is funny because given last week CM Punk was in attendance, which is hilarious when you think about it.
Oh yeah.
But then you got Dynamite there. That'll be like the they're not really going to be building anything for WrestleMania weekend because they don't do it outside of Ring of Honor. Not really doing anything on that there. I don't know how I'm going to do Ring of Honor. That I'm still trying to figure out. I may cover that. I may not. I do want to see Athena versus Hikaru Shida because I know that match is gonna bang.
Oh yeah, run back from their days in Shimmer.
I didn't even know the extra wrestled each other in Shimmer. That's news to me.
Sure did.
And supposedly Stardom might be on there. I don't really believe that's going to happen. I know Dave Meltzer likes to think that's going to happen, but I don't personally think that's going to happen. Because even though Mina Shirakawa is going to be on Ring of Honor, that depends on whether or not they're invited back or not.
Well, it is the day after the Stardom show, so.
And he said, well, they're going to be here next week. I'm like, of course they are, because two of those talent are going to be on the New Japan Chicago show.
Oh yeah, Windy City Riot. Yep.
Yeah, Azumi and Mina Shirakawa are going to be. We don't know who they're going to wrestle.
Yep.
Yet, which they hopefully will find out soon from New Japan, who are putting. By the way, Stardom is not presenting this show in Philadelphia. It's actually being put on by New Japan Pro Wrestling. Which I'm actually glad they did because, it's about time. I thought they were going to do that last year, but they didn't for whatever reason. But
I just hope they do a meet and greet.
But the only match we sort of know right now on that card, even though it's not officially announced, but it's been thrown out there, is Maika versus Megan Bayne. Which I don't think Maika was on that show the last time they were in the United States, but
correct.
No, they weren't because she wasn't because she came in after they went to the States. So
yes,
so that makes more sense. All I know is I am very excited to see how the fans, the American audiences, react to Azumi for the first time. Because that's going to be because they have not seen they've seen her wrestle on New Japan World and maybe checked out some of their Stardom stuff. But if you see her in person, I'm not saying I've seen her in person, but I'm saying that's going to be an awesome. That her type of wrestling is what is going to get over with that crowd. So, I don't know if any other wrestling shows is taking place in the same building that day. I don't think so.
So the WrestleCon, the Memorial Super Show apparently is in the same 2300 building afterwards, which it makes me wonder.
Thank God it's afterwards because the last time they had a show, Stardom had a show, after another show, the previous event broke the bottom rope.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the House of Glory show had a match at a show. The bottom rope broke, and they just never bothered to fix it. So it was kind of it was kind of scary for the rest of the Stardom show.
Oh geez. Duly noted.
Thankfully, it doesn't seem like there's going to be a wrestling show before the Stardom show, so they may have a working ring.
Yeah, and some word was supposedly that the Stardom talent might get added to the WrestleCon meet and greet schedule, which
probably it would make sense.
It would make sense, which would make it easier for to be, for them to be available, like the following days or whatnot.
I can see like talents like like Mina Shirakawa, Maika, and maybe Mayu Iwatani, and and maybe if she gets added to the Philly show, we don't know, because maybe Utami if she gets added, because we don't know. Shuri, obviously, I could see those names being added to that type of meet and greet.
Yeah, and then Shuri, she's got 2 shows, so
yeah, she's got the GCW, not JC. I think was it GCW or JCW that she's doing.
Yeah, it was the GCW JCW versus the World show.
Yeah, that's right. She's challenging Masha Slamovich.
Yep, for the JCW World Championship.
Imagine you brought it up. Imagine if she does win the championship.
Oh, that would be huge.
And then after that, Masha then has got to stick around to face Shayna Baszler.
Yeah,
or is it afterward?
That's right.
It was one of the two.
That's right. Both of those matches are in the same day, with the Bloodsport one being the earlier match.
Oh, so yeah, okay. So she's got to wrestle with Shayna first, and then that makes sense. Because right now, I somebody was pointing this out, like if they're not going to do anything on WrestleMania, just stick them on Bloodsport or something.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I would love to see Shinsuke Nakamura do Bloodsport.
Yeah, at least give him an opportunity to wrestle. Make some cash on the side.
Because now with Vince not being there, you can do these opportunities now. I mean, granted, last year Vince was around, but you had Nakamura doing the Great Muta match last year, and Noah, which after
with Pro Wrestling
originally
Noah. Yep.
Vince said no, and then Triple H is like, "Nah, we're gonna let him do it," and then what else? We had Jordan Grace pop up in the Royal Rumble. We had what else happened?
Charlie Dempsey and AJPW.
Yeah, which I think this is just me spitballing here, but I think there's a good chance that Charlie Dempsey may wrestle Nakajima at Stand and Deliver. I'm just something something just tells me the reason they gave him the Heritage Cup, it feels like they're going to do him and Nakajima at Stand and Deliver. And if they do that, I'm all for that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be really awesome.
Because it wouldn't be the first time that NXT had somebody from another promotion show up. I mean, they had Jushin Thunder Liger wrestle Tyler Breeze in Liger's only WWE match.
Yeah.
Which I would love to ask Tyler Breeze that. I'd be like, man, you got to wrestle Liger's only match for WWE. That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Imagine if somebody told me like, hey, you're gonna wrestle, I don't know, Yota Tsuji or somebody from New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm like, excuse me, I'm gonna do what? Which, by the way, congratulations, Yota Tsuji. By the way.
Yes, Yota Tsuji on winning the New Japan Cup 2024.
The right decision. I love Hiroki Goto, but Yota Tsuji was the right decision to win that cup.
Yota Tsuji has been on a roll since returning from excursion.
Oh, absolutely. He came back. He looks badass, by the way. I love the new look that he has. Came back, immediately challenged Sonata, had a great match with Sonata, but Sonata had actually one of Sonata's only great matches outside of the match. Well, actually, no, that's not true. No, that match at Wrestle Kingdom when Naito was pretty good. The rematch was not very good, but
right.
Yeah, Sonata. The more I thought about it, Sonata was a boring champion.
I mean, I kind of miss his cold skull gimmick, but
Yeah,
you know,
his run as New Japan as IWGP champion was not very good.
yeah. I mean,
When
I
you
was
really
glad
like
when it finally happened, but then once it happened, it was just like, ugh.
outside of the match with Yota Tsuji and then the first match with Naito, I can't recall any great matches that he had with the title.
Yeah.
Naito will be defending. Speaking, we mentioned. Well, I know this is a Stardom thing, but Naito will be defending that title against John Moxley. It would not. If John Moxley wins the IWGP Championship, I'm going to laugh. I'm just saying. But anyway,
Yeah, that would.
but yeah, who do you think? So we know that Mina and Azumi are wrestling on the show. Who do you think they're going to wrestle each other? Do you think they're going to wrestle somebody else on the show? What's happening? What do you think is happening?
As far as like card or
Yeah, on the Windy Center Riot show, because we don't know. All we know is they're on the show. That's it.
yeah, that's a good question. I assume either they're going to have possibly a separate match, maybe one of them
Right.
getting a title shot, or some sort of triple threat.
Against Stephanie Vicure or like somebody else.
That's what I'm thinking, since I believe she is booked for that show.
Oh yeah, that's right. She is booked for. Isn't somebody else booked for that show as well? Isn't who was it? Who was it that there's somebody else that wrestled Mayu Iwatani on a US show. It wasn't Stephanie Vicure, it was somebody else.
I remember. Oh my goodness.
It was the New York show. I know that. I don't remember who the heck she wrestled.
Because I remember at the Rumble on 44th Street, Mayu had defended the SWA title against Kylan King.
That's who it was. I couldn't remember. I knew it was the New York show. I just couldn't remember who it was she wrestled. You could bring in Kylan King and do. Kylan King's injured, right?
I believe so.
Well, never mind then. Scratch that out. Scratch that. That's a good question. I don't know what they're going to do with her and Azumi. Though, when they announced that they're doing, because we don't know when they're going to do the historic crossover again, right? I mean, we know it's happening this year, but we don't know when, right?
Correct. And I assume it's probably going to be that early fall time, because I mean the 5-star Grand Prix will be done with by then,
right?
So I mean there's that, and I got a feeling that probably maybe before the end of this week we're going to start getting news on match bookings for April.
That's fair for because we don't even know what's going to happen at All Star either. So outside the Mayu Sourei match, that's the only match we know is happening right now on that show. I believe so, right?
Yeah, which you think that's gonna end up being the main event,
right? Maybe, depending. Well, that all depends on what they have planned for Maika on that show,
right?
Because if Maika's on the show and she ends up facing like Tam Nakano or something, that might actually end up being the main event. We don't know, but I was predicting like a little bit of not the card for historic crossover but I still want El Desperado and Starlight Kid to team up on that show.
Oh yes, that
like
would
I know
be awesome.
I know they did the 8-person tag match with what was it? It was, oh my god, who was it? It was Desperado and Doki with Momo and Starlight Kid. I believe it was Taichi.
Because I remember the collabs were, I know it was Maika and Hiroki Goto. It was Shuri and Filthy Tom Lawler, Hiroshi Tanahashi and Utami Hayashishita.
Who was the other guy? Was Tamiwaro that was teaming with Taishi?
I think so.
I know that the female partners were military. I know that. But yeah, I loved the whole thing that they were doing with Starlight Kid, Momo, and El Desperado. It was like El Desperado being the big brother of the two.
Oh, I found it. It was Meltier and Suzuki Gun. So it was Tam Nakano, Natsupoi, Taichi, Yoshinobu Kanemaru versus Momo Watanabe, Starlight Kid.
I was right.
And
It was
Suzuki Gun.
Kanemaru. Yeah, I was right. So
Yeah.
And Starlight Kid came up with that amazing mask.
Yes.
And
yes.
Del Desperado, they had the mixed mask
half
thing.
and half.
And they were like,
yeah.
And I believe it was like, who was it that said it? It was Chris Charlton said, like, it's almost like a brother sister bond, which is true. They do act like brother and sister when they're around each other.
Yep. That's
and
a
even
good point.
even online, Starlight Kid calls him a big brother, right? So, and I believe he also treats Momo like a big sister, a sister too, right? So,
yeah.
But I'd love to see another team up with those two. And the match I want to see, and I don't know why I want to see this. I'm crazy for wanting this, but I want to see Starlight Kid and El Desperado take on the team of Maika and Shingo Takagi.
Maika and Shingo.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
Okay.
And that was originally, but then Yoda Tsuji came back, and I'm like, okay, let's switch out Shingo Takagi for Yoda Tsuji.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know why I want to see that.
I could be down with that.
I don't know why I want to see that. I just do. But I wish Giulia was sticking around because I want to see Giulia and Zack Sabre Jr. team up again because that was actually entertaining to watch.
Yeah, that's right. Because Giulia and Zack Sabre Jr. Beat Shuri and Filthy Tom Lawler. Yeah. Although with Giulia gone, I wouldn't mind Shuri being the replacement to team up with Zack Sabre Jr. I think that would be pretty killer, actually.
Though if we oh man, you're not going to even. Well, never mind. Giulia's not going to be there for you. If Giulia was there, I would want you to ask her if Zack Sabre Jr. did become an honorary member of DDM because we never got that answer.
Oh yeah.
He said, "Can I join? Am I joining Nana Del Mondo?" We never got an answer to that.
Yeah.
Is anybody else formerly from? I know Mike. Well, oh no, you know what? Mike is going to be there. No, she might not know the answer. Who else is Micah the only former DDM member that's on that show right now?
I know. Let's see. Shuri's a former member.
Oh, yeah, Shuri. Well, Shuri wasn't in the group and all that happened, so I don't really count.
Okay.
I'm talking about the last incarnation of DDM.
Oh, the last incarnation. So it's Maika, Tekla, Mai Sakurai, Giulia. Yeah, I think those four.
So I'm as right now in Philly right now the only former member of the final incarnation of DDM on that show is Maika, correct?
Yep.
Well, I don't know if Maika would know that. You could ask her, but I don't think she'll know the answer to that. But yeah, that's something I want to see. I don't know what else like mixed match things I want to see on that show. With I want to see more mixed matches that instead of because we only got like a couple last year and not last year, 2 years ago. Like only 2 tag matches they've got. I want to see more of that instead of the 2 than just two or 3 we got.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool. I think they can come up with some combos.
Yeah, but other than that, it was nice having you on the show. I enjoy talking Stardom with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't mind doing this again. We could probably do this again for the. I wouldn't mind doing this again for All Star if you want to do that.
Sure thing. And
so go ahead.
Oh, and I'm definitely looking forward to attending the the Stardom and Philly show, I will be front row to the right of the entrance ramp.
Yeah, I'm totally not jealous of you doing that at all.
And
that's one thing I want to do. Like at some point in my life, either happens here or if I go to Japan, I need to go see a New Japan show and a Stardom show. Even though I know for a fact Stardom shows are very expensive in Japan, but I still would go just to see, just to feel it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So I had to jump on the opportunity when it was first announced, and also shout out to Ami Sourei. She actually had her birthday March 20th.
Oh yeah, that's right. Happy birthday to
Happy birthday. She just turned 27.
It is her birthday. Happy birthday, Ami Sourei. Hope you had a lovely birthday. I know. She actually spent her birthday in the ring.
Yeah.
Wrestling twice, which I don't know if she thought she was going to be wrestling twice on her birthday, but hey, you know.
Hey,
but I hope she had a lovely birthday, though.
Indeed.
You know, so, you know, speaking of birthdays, Maika's coming up, and then I'm also Tam Nakano is coming up this month, too. I believe tomorrow's Tam's birthday.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I think so. Let me look here. Let me look. Yeah, tomorrow's Tam's 36th birthday.
Oh, wow. So she's a little bit older than Shuri.
A lot of people said there's no way this woman's almost 36 years old. I mean, yeah. To be fair, I mean, you look at her like she was born at 88, and I'm like, there's no way this woman's 36. Well, almost 36. I'm like, yeah, no.
Oh, okay. So she'll be 1 year older than Shuri.
I mean, guess how old Fukin's death is.
I believe she's in her 40s.
She's 43.
43?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which technically, as of right now, makes her, even though she's not under contract to Stardom, she technically is the oldest woman on the roster.
Yeah, understandable.
Which I'm surprised she isn't. I thought she was under contract, but she's not. But she does run her own promotion, like you've said.
Oh yeah, YMZ, I believe.
Yeah. But I would love to. Speaking of former Stardom members, I would love to see Miss Act come back to Stardom at least once to do something like an appearance.
Oh, Ak Yasugawa?
Yeah.
I'd be down. I'd totally be down.
Bro, I tell you, somebody told me to go watch that match that she had with. I'm like, no, I'm not going to watch that. Because why would I want to watch somebody beat up that beautiful woman? Come on now.
Yeah, I did end up seeing it, and a percentage of me regrets seeing it, but I had, I guess, you know, it was the big buzz of what, you know, has happened throughout the history of Stardom. So I figured
they fired her. Then for some reason they thought it was a great idea to bring her back after they fired her. I don't know, but you know, she still looks amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
She, you know, for some reason I thought the actress girl company was named after her. It's not really, but she's there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Stardom, you know, next big show, Philly, should be a lot of fun. WrestleMania weekend, a lot of people are going to come out. Biggest week of the year usually, because you know you got Raw that weekend. You got NXT, then Dynamite, then the Stardom show on that Thursday. Then you got 3 different shows at once on Friday. You had SmackDown, the Hall of Fame, and Ring of Honor happening all at the same time.
Ooh.
Which I don't know how people do that. Saturday and Sundays, WrestleMania. So
yep. Shout out to Spark Joshi. They got a Sunday show as well.
Yeah, they got like, I believe it was Mina, Azumi, Starlight Kid. I think somebody else was announced for that show too.
Konami.
Konami, yeah. So yeah. But Cinderella Tournament overall was a lot better than last year's. I'm so glad they decided not to screw any. Like, I would have been mad if they decided to pull another 2022 or 2023. Because,
yeah, I'm just glad it didn't end up being a Mirai three-peat.
Listen, look, a lot of people think I hate Mirai. I don't hate her. I just didn't like her winning all the time.
Yeah, which is fair.
But I'm glad that she lost. She was in the first round. She was in the second round because we were like, oh man, that's the match that's going to be like, okay. But yeah. So other than that, I enjoyed the this year's tournament more than I thought I would. Not that upset that Hanan won. I'm a little upset that it's not who I thought it would be, but I'm not mad that Hanan won. I like Hanan. Everyone else in this match, everyone else in this tournament outside Natsuko Toro, shine. Sorry, Natsuko.
Agreed. Totally agree.
Don't hate me, Natsuko. I still love you at all. But come on now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you've ever met Natsuko outside of like the ring, chill.
Oh, that's good to know.
Like I watched that video that they did where they were. I don't know why they do it, but it's still funny to watch when they're all in their ring gear and they go do stuff together.
Oh yeah.
It's entertaining to watch. I don't know why they do it, but it's still entertaining. It was Ueno Tai doing cooking videos. It was Momo, Natsuko and Starlight Kid, and Momo and Natsuko's like the chillest person doing cooking. I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. I got a kick out of Mei Sarah and Suzu Suzuki eating that spicy food.
Was it Suzu or was it Giulia and Maika?
So Giulia and Maika did the first one, and then later on they did another one with Crazy Star.
Okay, so I didn't see. I might have to go back and watch that one. I haven't seen that. I saw the Giulia one, the Giulia and Suzu, Maika one.
It was hilarious.
I watched the not the Meltier and Yuna pole dancing thing.
Oh, yes.
And I saw Tam doing that. I'm like, why does she? I jokingly said, she seems like she's way too comfortable doing that.
Yeah, I think that's a fair observation.
Which was a joke, but people also caught up. Like, I'm like, Natsupoi was hilarious too, and trying to do it. Oh, that was funny.
Yeah.
Ham driving was even funnier too, because Natsupoi is in the background trying to give second-handed compliments, trying to distract Tam.
Oh yeah,
which is funny, but yeah, I love to see those videos. Those are good stuff. But other than that, I enjoyed our conversation about Stardom. Talking about wrestling is with people you like to talk wrestling with. It's good stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, Dynamite though was a great show. I will talk about Dynamite on Sunday's show. Okada winning the Continental title that he won tonight.
Yeah, the Continental Crown Championship.
Which they're gonna do Okada Pac. Oh my God, sign me up, please.
Oh yes.
And then next week they're gonna do Ospreay and Shibata on free television.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. What you got going on this weekend? Do you got any streaming plans? Because you can tell people where they can find you.
I know this weekend I'll be attending a Video Games Live concert, but this weekend is also, as a matter of fact, it's in a few days. It's the big Ice Ribbon March 2024 show where we're going to get mother versus daughter in the main event for the Ice Cross Infinity Championship. Ibuki Hoshi, Hamuka Hoshi. It's going to be exciting. I'm pumped for it.
Interesting. So why don't you tell people where they can find you?
Y'all can find me on Twitter/X at BlitzbalChamp, capital B, capital C. You can also find me on YouTube, BlitzbalChamp Gaming, capital B, capital C, capital G. You can also find BlitzbalChamp Gaming on Facebook as well. And
that's half of the people still use Facebook. That is.
Yeah, for those out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my easy accesses.
Hey, usually, I mean, I have a Facebook page, but I don't ever promote it because no one ever uses it. So I'm like, why bother? So
Just understandable.
Yeah, but yeah, but yeah. You can also find he'll probably have his own little recap of the Cinderella Tournament on his channel, probably, which is
yes.
We both went longer here. He was going to probably have 20 minutes or something on there. I don't know, maybe. I know you like to have short videos when you do that stuff, but is this the first time you've done one of these collaboration wrestling things?
It's been forever, so it's been like a few years, but every now and then, I'm up for them. I know usually on my channel, because I take notes, because I watch a lot of these shows on my computer, I have a Word doc up, and I'm taking notes as I'm watching.
Because these shows are at crack a crow piz, I don't eventually take notes, so I just go off by memory outside. But when I do watch when I do review the Raw and SmackDown like that stuff, I do take the notes because it's not at the crack a crow piz. So
yeah, because I try my best not to miss important details. So yeah.
For example, I went back and watched the main event, like I said, because I didn't want to miss anything.
Right.
For example, the reversal that I mentioned from Maika, I didn't want to miss that and stuff like that. So
from the hijack bomb.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, I've been Matt the Misfit. This has been Blitzball Champion. Champ, champion. Why not?
Yeah, BlitzbalChamp Gaming. I accept either.
No, this has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Again, I will see you guys back here for Friday Night SmackDown, where Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes will be face to face, probably, hopefully by themselves. I don't actually believe that one bit, but do that. I will not. I don't really cover Ring of Honor, but I'll check out, see what they've cut out of the Stardom stuff, because I'm very. I don't fully believe they're going to keep her entrance in there, because they didn't give Utami an entrance. So why would I want to believe them that they would keep Mina's entrance in the? They gave Utami when Utami did the trip over to Ring of Honor, they gave her the jobber entrance.
Yeah, they did. You're right.
So I don't trust Tony Khan. So, but we'll see. I'll check her match out with who she wrestled. Anna Jay on that show.
Yeah, it was Anna Jay. Mm-hmm.
I'll check it out, and I'll probably bring it up on Sunday, maybe. Who knows if I remember. And also I'll go over Dynamite on that show. I'll also go over the results for NXT. Maybe if they have a show, if Stardom has started up a show out on this weekend, maybe, I don't know. We'll talk about it. If there's some news that breaks about Stardom, I'll cover that then there too. It's been quiet on the front when it comes to Rossi Ogawa, which is, I guess, a good thing.
Something's brewing.
Because we haven't heard anything else when it comes to the stuff with Stardom and Bushiroad and Rossi Ogawa since his firing, which sounds like a good thing, but then again, that sounds like a scary thing. But I'll let you guys know. Until then, I'm Matt the Misfit. This has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. All the links will be in the description. I'll even put his links in the description. Hopefully, because if I don't remember, I'm going to beat myself about it. But until then, we're out.